greatest moments in all of sports happened right here on Fox.
No time on the clock, and the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36.
This is a presentation of Fox Sports, celebrating 10 years of excellence.
Mutants. Since the discovery of their existence, they have been regarded with fear, suspicion, often hatred. Across the planet, debate rages. Are mutants the next link in the evolutionary chain, or simply a new species of humanity fighting for their share of the world? Either way, it is an historical fact. Sharing the world has never been humanity's defining attribute.
If you want it bad enough, it's right there in front of us. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Three. 1, 2, 3.
The war has begun.
It's about to get very cold in here.
We'll be watching. It's the one and only Ford F-150 Fox NFL Special. America's best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
Outside in rainy Detroit, they're celebrating Thanksgiving with the Great American Parade. Inside Ford Field, hey folks, we will celebrate Thanksgiving with some good old-fashioned football between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, and we'll do that right here on Fox. And a raucous crowd greeting us here inside of Ford Field. Good to be alongside with you. Hello, everyone. I'm James Brown, and welcome to Detroit, Michigan. And happy Thanksgiving to you all. Now, my colleague, that is Terry Bradshaw, will join us in just a few seconds. But first, I'd like to welcome some guys who Thanksgiving would not be the same without Jimmy Johnson and Howie Long. Happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
And I know you are a big DVD fan.
Yeah, we're going to watch that on the way home, you and me, JB.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
X2, X-Men United. Let me get that right.
Now you can get it. We're out
there
last
we go.
week.
All right, folks.
We're back in the action on the sideline, Howie.
Yep.
Look
right
at
here.
him.
Well,
Hey,
it's
and
not
by the
grass,
way,
but
we are also wearing these Autism Awareness ribbon pins to show our support for the autism community and help bring more awareness to this disorder. For more information, go to the Autism Society of America's website, www.autism-society.org. All right, folks, Thanksgiving in football, it is indeed a tradition that goes way back to 1920 when Jim Thorpe played for the Canton Bulldogs. You may not have known this. Who was his backup quarterback at the time? None other than Terry Bradshaw. Hello, Terry.
Hello, JB. Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Here with head coach Steve Mariucci of the Lions. First time in 25 years, the entire family's here for Thanksgiving, right or wrong?
That is right. Usually we're working on Thanksgiving. There's some game to prepare for or play. So it's awesome to have them. And they're all staying at my house, too.
Yeah, they're
25 of them.
Not to mention they're behind us on camera. Coach, how do you wouldn't you like to be able to bottle up all this energy that these folks here in Detroit have for this particular day? It always seems that the Lions on this day, forget the records, always either win this game or make it one heck of a football game.
This is a big game for our team and this city. Parade's going on right now. It's like a playoff game atmosphere, and players love being a part of this tradition. Been going on for 64 years.
Well, I don't like
before you were born.
Exactly, barely. Ugly uniforms today, those throwback uniforms. Quickly though, you got your big concern has to be finally Favre with the broken thumb.
Finally,
not so much a problem there, maybe, but stopping Armand Green. Now this been running.
Well, they've been running the ball like crazy, and I think it starts with their offensive line. we all know about Brett Favre and his, the threat that he poses in the passing game, and then this running game with Ahman Green. But it all starts up there in front with that offensive line. They've been terrific lately.
Well, good luck today.
Thanks, Terry.
And happy.
And you're looking sharp.
I feel sharp. Talk about sharp. Listen over to Pam Oliver with head coach Mike Sherman. Pam.
Okay, Terry. Thanks a lot, Mike. Let's talk a little bit about the pitfalls that you want to try to avoid today. I know this is a kind of a scary game for you, even though these guys have only won 3.
Well, certainly when you practice in a short week, your preparation is compressed into a really one practice, and that makes it difficult. You're also concerned about your team getting tired with a short week as well. They didn't get the rest. But Detroit has the same issues as we have. It's an honor to play in this game on Thanksgiving, and we're looking forward to it.
All eyes will be on that thumb of number 4. Are you feeling more confident that thing is coming around?
Oh, it's healing. He's the only guy that could ever do what he's doing with that thumb. I mean, he's a very special and unique player, and I have the utmost confidence in him, and he has the confidence in himself, and the team has it in him as well. So it's really not a concern for us.
Keys for victory today would be?
First of all, we have to play a tough physical football game on a short week, and that is critical. We have to hang on to the football. If we hang on to the football, we usually have some success, and we have to do a great job of that, and we have to match, if not surpass, their emotional level. They're the host team, but we really have to play emotional football today.
All right, Mike, appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Let's go back to JB.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And as I turn to Jimmy Johnson, Mike Sherman mentioned not only that which Steve Mariucci has to be concerned about, but Miami and Dallas, the short work week.
Well, Mike Sherman was right on target. He said, trying to squeeze all the preparation into just 3 days and basically one practice. And the dilemma is, how do you cover all the bases and still keep your team fresh? Well, the most difficult thing to prepare for in getting ready for this game is all the blitzes and pass protection. Now, the answer? Green Bay does it better than anybody in the league that's run the football. If you run the football, you don't have to worry about all those blitzes.
Well, and that's the big key for Detroit. If preparing for a simple offense is the key to this football game, then Detroit should be successful, because this Packer offense is very simple. Coach talked about it. Great offensive line, big fullback in Lucci, Henderson. They bring in Davenport, Ahman Green. They lead the league right now over the last month, 230 yards a game, plus rushing the football. That's the key to today's game.
Yeah, you know what? I think one of the things kind of maybe to help answer your question, Coach, is about blitzing, is the fact that they played each other in week 2. Now, I know that's a ways back, but they have played one another. And this game, these Lions are so hard to beat here. And, folks, I believe this, JB, if Green Bay doesn't win the game by the 3rd quarter, by the time the 4th quarter comes around, this team at home, the Lions, has only given up 6 points in their home games here in the 4th quarter. It'll be very difficult, I think.
Rain Man has spoken.
Again.
That's
right, Rain Man.
Folks,
Rain Man.
The Baltimore Ravens have a lot to be thankful for. Now, in case you missed it, the Ravens beat the Seahawks last Sunday in a wild shootout, but thanks to a gift by the officials. Now, basically, the officials forgot to restart the clock late in the game, which helped the Ravens out, and the NFL later admitted its mistake. But in the end, Seattle, by most people's account, Howie, was robbed.
Yeah, and it is a gaffe by that crew, and Tom White and his crew are off this week, but don't read too much into that. Although they will, I'm sure, be fined. We won't know what that fine is. It has to go through the process. But go back to 1998, the Seattle Seahawks versus the New York Jets. Dennis Erickson, the head coach, Vinny Testaverde on this quarterback sneak. His head is through the end zone. The ball is back. It forced a revision in replay, and then subsequently they lose the football game, and it ends up costing Dennis Erickson his job. And you have to think, with Mike Holmgren being under a little bit of fire up there, if this costs them the playoffs and possibly Mike Holmgren his job, it would be unfortunate.
Howie, blaming it on the officials? Please, blame it on the defense. They gave up 44 points to a team that hadn't been able to score a touchdown in the last few weeks. You can't do that to a quarterback that just walked off the street and then he throws a bunch of touchdown passes against the defense.
Such passion. I love it.
Hey, but Jimmy has never blamed the officials, though, right?
No.
One play in the game, no big deal.
Hey, folks, we're setting the table for a delicious day of football, so let's check out the menu.
Coming up on the one and only Fox NFL Special, we've flown the coop to bring you Thanksgiving live from Detroit. The Packers ran all over the Lions earlier this season. We'll stuff you with all the details of today's rematch. Ricky's been carving up the opposition, but today he'll taste the number 1 D when the Dolphins face Big D. Frank serves up some Thanksgiving picks but save room for dessert, we invited the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders to our football feast. Find out what it takes to be part of the Cowboys' better half. Terry continues his conversation with the heart of Green Bay. Favre talks about the state of the pack and his thoughts on the future. Off the field, a family is having their holiday spirit tested. Pam Oliver shares the story of the Shermans and the struggles they're facing this season. That's all coming up on the one and only Fox NFL Special. The one and only Ford F-150 Fox NFL Special is brought to you by Wachovia. Together we can achieve uncommon things. By Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. And by the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Well, on the scene right out of Benny Hill, beware of a lion bearing gifts as the lion has the turkey on the run. But a little later, the turkey pulls the tables, grabs the hatchet, and has the lion on the run, something that the Lions won't, hoping to be the case against the Packers today. All right, folks, as we welcome you back to Detroit and the Ford F-150 pregame show. You know, Mad TV's Frank Caliendo took 3 double-digit favorites last week. Hey, Frank, the next time you wimp out and pick an easy game, big boy Howie Long will indeed call you out. So let's see what Frank serves up today.
Hey, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there, but somebody had to stay back and break the wishbone with Jillian. I wonder how many times Terry said those 3 words in the same sentence. Jillian, wish, and you know what? It's Thanksgiving and I'm not going to go there. Speaking of Thanksgiving, we here at Fox get to cover a game every year, but the guys at ABC don't. I wonder what they're doing today.
Are you ready for some turkey? Peas and yams and pies. All right! All my hungry friends are here on Thursday night. Woo-hoo!
Come on, let's eat. Don't worry, John. Dinner's coming. In a few moments, this table will be filled with an unbelievable Thanksgiving feast.
Yeah, it will. This empty table is going to have food on it. Then it won't be an empty table anymore. And then we have corn over here. The Indians just call that maize out in Hawaii. But that's just Indians. They're always doing stuff like that. Then you got cranberry sauce over here, and then stuffing right there, and then this centerpiece. I mean, you get rid of that and throw it over that way. It'd be a centerpiece if you're not in the center. Then the potatoes are gratin. That's going to be right here. The secret ingredient. Ow! You know what the secret ingredient of potatoes au gratin is? It's Miracle Whip.
Do you believe in Miracle Whip?
Nice job of working that one in, Al. I mean, it made me laugh a little bit.
John, let's take a look at this year's Thanksgiving turkey.
Al, you know, it's not just any turkey. It's a turducken. I mean, that's a chicken stuffed into a duck, stuffed into a turkey, and then sometimes you stuff it into meat. It's like a special kind of turkey, like Brett Favre is a special kind of football player. I mean, you got Brett Favre on the field and the turkey on the table. Hey! Over at the kids' table, we got our sideline reporters, Melissa Stark, Eric Dickerson.
How you doing?
And Lisa G. And look, there's Dennis Miller.
How you doing, Cha-Cha?
Who's ready for some turkey? Yeah!
Hurry up, Hank. The Green Bay game just started.
Green Bay get Brett Favre. Turkey. Brett Favre. Turkey. Favre. Turkey. Favre. Turkey. Turkey.
All right, my Thanksgiving picks are Green Bay over Detroit and Miami to beat Dallas. Okay, I know this is a job, but the truth is, when you do a show like this, you become like a family. JB's kind of like the dad. Howie and Jillian are like the brother and the sister. Jimmy's everyone's favorite uncle. And Terry, well, he's kind of like that cousin that served time and came back just a little bit different. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Wow. Wow, you know what?
Anybody care to comment?
No,
What's he mean by different?
I don't know what he meant by different, but I want to apologize to the Madden family. He ought to just leave John alone for a while. Don't you guys?
It is Thanksgiving,
really do
right?
This Thanksgiving and leave
right?
John alone. Leave him alone.
I will second that thought indeed. All right, folks, in between meals today, don't forget to play the Bud Light Pro Pick'em contest. Log on to foxsports.com, pick this week's games, and win a ton of prizes. Now, usually at this particular time, it's time for Jillian Barbary. But since we're in a dome today and Terry's from Dallas, we'll let you handle the weather forecast.
Okay, the weather in Dallas today will be high 60s, lots of wind. Be very windy, but the quarterbacks should handle the ball there. Beautiful day, and I think they'll enjoy that game, Dolphins and the Cowboys. Here, of course, it's a beautiful day, 72 degrees. A little bit of moisture in the air because the air conditioners do drip underneath and so we have a little condensation there. And when they do open the doors up high, we do get a little more breeze in here than normal.
So I guess the common thread in his little report there was breeze and wind. Nice job, TV.
A lot of breeze.
Today, Jillian Barbary finds out how the lucky ones become a world-famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Shake that thing, miss. Can I shake that thing, miss? Annabella, shake that thing, yeah, donna.
I've always wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader since I was like 3 years old.
I said, if I'm gonna do it, I need to go to the best ones.
They're beautiful and they get to go to the games, and Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are famous.
Personality, intelligence, they want everything. It's always been my dream to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Well, today's the day. Those dreams will either come true or be broken. It's mid-April, and while Cowboy coaches are drafting players, another squad is being filled. Months of tryouts for the world's most famous cheerleaders end today at Texas Stadium.
Today is the final audition. Today is the decision day where we are picking our 2003 squad. We actually started in 46 cities, and then we whittled it down to 10 regional cities, and then those finalists came to Dallas to compete against our returning veteran cheerleaders.
It's very hard to become a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, but one of the biggest steps is just actually doing it. They are so nervous to walk through the doors at Texas Stadium. And so just coming here today is a big accomplishment for all of them. And it's a very hard process because they've come for 3 long, hard days and have put their guts into it, and they all want to be on the field someday.
To get on the field at the end of the day, you've got to impress the judges throughout the day. First up, a talent presentation where the girls can do whatever they think will set them apart.
Because I wanna be a cowboy, baby. With a top left back and the sunshine shining. Cowboy, baby. West Coast chillin' with the booms wide. I wanna be a cowboy, baby. Riding at night 'cause I sleep all day. Cowboy, baby. I can smell a pig from a mile away.
It gives the girls a chance to show us some of their own unique charm, their personality, and their own talent outside of the traditional choreography that we teach them.
After that, it's a written test. No, seriously, they're tested on current events, the NFL, and the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Tests? Are we talking about cheerleaders or brain surgeons here? Well, actually, some of these girls might end up being both.
I'm a medical student at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Right now, I should be with my residents in the cardiology unit at UNC, but I'm here. I would have to withdraw from my rotation, take a year off or 2 years or however long I'm able to stay here. It was a hard decision, but I look at the pros and cons, and there are so many more pros to doing this than not. And I said, why not?
Yeah, why not? Certainly not because you're too young.
I'm 18 years old. I am a high school senior from Omaha, Nebraska, and I am the captain of my varsity cheerleading squad at Marion High School. I was born in Dallas, and so growing up in Dallas, these are the girls that you admire and look up to, and I've just always had my inspiration from these girls.
For some of these girls, it's in their blood, literally.
My mom was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader in the years 79 and 80. I've always just really admired the fact that she did it, and I love being in the same spot that she was. I'm a former cheerleader from the 95 through 97 season. I tried out, went to the Super Bowl my first year, so it was an incredible year for me as a rookie. It was a really neat experience. And then so I took 5 years off, and I went to school within that. I came back just because I missed the camaraderie with the ladies.
So, do the veterans have an advantage when it comes to the tryouts?
Well, I suppose you have a bit of an edge just because you know what's going to happen. I knew what was going to be expected of me and what they look for exactly. So in that respect, you have an edge, but there's always somebody bigger and better and faster and stronger, so everyone has an equal opportunity.
So, veterans, first-timers, whatever, they all want it, and they want it bad.
Absolutely, it would be great. I mean, just to do this once in your life would be fantastic, and I don't know why anyone would pass up the opportunity if they got a chance to do it.
But they won't all make it, trust me. Find out who does right after this. long day, the girls have done all they can do. They head to the field to wait while the judges decide their fate.
Her figure. Will she look good in our uniform? I'm going to say this again. We're not looking for stick-thin figures. We're looking for a diverse opinion of what a beautiful shape is.
Then they vote on each and every girl.
Yes. Come on. Is this our girl? All right.
Finally, at nearly midnight, the wait is over. All the decisions have been made, and if the judges call your name, you're in. Ah, you know Mom's gonna be so proud. And she'll be going to the prom as a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. The doctor is in. No surprise here, the gorgeous veteran returns. 41 names are called in all, 21 veterans, 20 new girls. That's the last name, which means she's in, but for everyone else, well, today's just not their day.
Still a California girl. Still a California girl.
It didn't work out, so I'm fine with it. I gave it my all, and everything happens for a reason.
Back inside, the new team is assembled for the first time.
Congratulations and welcome to our world.
But 5 of those girls still won't make the final roster. Those who do have a real tough summer, shooting the calendar in Cozumel, tough life, and signing autographs at promotional events. But as soon as the season starts, so does their real job.
Shake it, 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 shake it.
All right, nice job, Jillian Barber, indeed. Well, from the cheerleaders, let's go to the football team. The Cowboys go up against the Dolphins today in a crucial game for both teams. Dave Wanstead thought that the grass might have been a little greener with Brian Greasy, but hey, Terry, he's finding out that Jay Fiedler might be his best option.
This is true. You know, the Cowboys have, I think, caught so many people by surprise. It's only been a few years ago that we knew about the cap problem the 49ers had with their stars. The Cowboys had cap problem with their stars, Aikman, Smith, and so on. But Jerry Jones, by design, has turned this cap thing around when he signed Quincy Carter. Right now, the Cowboys are 2.5% of their cap money is invested in their quarterbacks. That's $1.9 million. An excellent job of running the cap by Jerry Jones. When the league averages $7 million per quarterback, the Indianapolis Colts, Howe and Jimmy, are 22% control of the cap dollars by quarterbacks.
Yeah, and Terry, about the game itself, you're not going to win this game unless you run the football, and you're not going to run the football against either defense unless you block the middle linebacker. And both Dat Wynn and Zach Thomas, they're having outstanding years, and both defensive schemes are designed to protect the undersized middle linebacker. The best way to block these middle linebackers, run the counter play. Look for Miami today to run the counter play with Ricky Williams and then fake the counter with Jay Fiedler coming out, throwing the ball to Randy McMichael on a bootleg.
Well, another aspect of the game, the Cowboys beat the Carolina Panthers with special teams, and that's a big key for this Dallas Cowboy team. They won a number of games that way. Don't be surprised if turnovers factor in too. Quincy Carter going against a very good secondary for the Miami Dolphins.
Hey, Jimmy, you've played in a number of these Thanksgiving Day games, but talk about your last memory of Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, bring us up to date.
Well, it was the last game that I lost in Dallas. We went on to win the Super Bowl, won every game after this one, but it was a bizarre day. Snowed Thanksgiving Day. Here, we had the game won. We blocked the field goal, and Leon goes in there and for some reason went after the football. Leon went into the locker room. I didn't even know what happened. I went into the training room. Leon's crying his eyes out. He was afraid I was going to cut him because I did cut some guys back in those days. And I said, Leon, don't worry about it. You're going to be with the Dallas Cowboys. You're an outstanding player. I'm not going to cut you. Smile broke out on his
great
face.
coach would have had his team prepared for just a situation like that.
Well, you know how that thing goes, you know.
Back to the game between the Packers and the Lions. And, Big Boy, there are indeed some tough guys in the backfield for the Packers.
Well, the Packers offense is run by that backfield versus this Detroit Lions defense has given up a lot of yards running. Amon Green, Tony Fisher, Najee Davenport, William Henderson at fullback, Nick Lucci at fullback. They'll go 2 tight ends, one of those tight ends being number 71, Kevin Barry. They make no secret about what they want to do. They run the ball, they run it down your throat, and they do it over 4 quarters. They gave up 200 yards the last time they played the Pack. The Detroit Lions defense did, and Packers have averaged over 230 yards over the last 4 weeks. Brett Favre, this is the key. Make the Packers beat you with Brett Favre. I know that sounds funny, but right now the best way to beat the Pack is to force Brett Favre to beat you.
Up with a wounded quarterback indeed. Hey folks, up next, Pam Oliver has the heart-wrenching story of Packers receivers coach Ray Sherman. His son died tragically, and the Sherman family's life was changed forever. Meanwhile, on the football field, the MVP on Ray Sherman's team, none other than Brett Favre. Terry raps at the quarterback, who is indeed the leader of the Pack.
Your actions, more than anything, speak louder than words. And so, hey, Brett Favre can block. If he can play hurt, if he can do the things that he's asked to do, or not even asked to do, that he does the right things, then why can't we?
I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see it's true. I ain't like me. To learn to be human too. Yes, it all. I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see it's true. I ain't like me. To learn to be human too.
Well, Brett Favre has fans everywhere, including that little cutie there who is reminiscent of one of his daughters. As a matter of fact, could be a young Brittany or a Breeley. As we welcome you back to Detroit and the Ford F-150 pregame show. You know, Brett Favre and the Packers are coming on like gangbusters indeed in the NFC North. They are now just 1 game behind the Vikings for first place. Now, the thing that stands out with this stretch of fine play from Favre is that now he has an outstanding running game to lean on, as Howie was talking about. And Terry, that definitely is a good thing.
You know, I think folks would be surprised that right now this Green Bay Packer team is averaging 173 yards rushing a game. In 1962, the world champion Packs 10, only time have they rushed for more yardage. It's a 2-parter when you talk to the great Favre. I went back up to Green Bay. Here's the rest of that interview. I
It seems like we hadn't seen each other in ages.
I know. It's been a while. I want to ask you something. What is your greatest challenge?
I've been fortunate enough to play a long time, and I've had all these great things happen to me, way more than I ever set out to achieve. Going into this season, my biggest challenge, as opposed to, say, when we won the Super Bowl, going into that season, is to somehow lead this young team back to a Super Bowl. We're a totally different team. I mean, I'd love to win a Super Bowl anytime. I think, anyone would love to be a part of that. But now, to me, it's a huge challenge, because I've been there. Not many guys on this team are left from 6 years ago.
If you want it bad enough, it's right there in front of us. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Have you ever given a speech to the team?
Once.
One time?
Once.
Before a game?
Before we played Detroit this year, and it was probably the hardest thing I ever did. We just lost to Minnesota here at home the first game. I don't want to say we were in disarray and stuff, but we had no identity.
So what'd you say?
I just told them that I had their back, and that whatever, if you go out there and give your best effort, regardless, give your best effort. Only you know if you gave your best effort. And we lose, hey, you can never, hang your head. And I know I've never turned my back on one player. I can honestly say that.
Stand strong in the storms of life. The sun will always shine on you.
How old are you? 33?
4.
Everybody's wanting to know how long you can play. You're always messing with the media.
No,
you do it.
No. I never mess with the media.
And you do it intentionally because you know they're gullible and they're hanging on every word you say.
They have nothing else to do.
So are you? You retired?
I'm sure at some point.
At some point, not now?
No.
Still love playing?
Still love playing.
Coming back
Still
next
think
year?
I'm playing pretty damn good.
You let me say that.
Well, I figured
Hold
I'd
it
have
right
to
there.
before somebody
I think
did.
you're playing pretty damn good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I know
I mean, because some people don't think so.
You can't come back, Brett, once you leave. And
No.
I don't think you should. I mean,
I would
my
never do
advice
that.
to you is
People-
play. They drag you off because you're not coming back.
Well, I mean, at the rate I'm going, they will drag me off. Man, I love to play the game. People say, is the streak important to you? I say, yeah, it is, because I'm playing. I enjoy playing every week.
All right, for all of you out there that are worried that Brett's not going to come back and play, he's getting tired of playing, trust me on this. Rain Man, me, 3 years at least, guaranteed 3, maybe 4 more years playing.
And Rain Man
Spoken.
is?
Huh?
Rain Man is?
Never wrong.
All right, folks. Hey, look here, as we
That's right.
close out Terry's 2-part epic with Brett Favre, it is time now for a sprint to cover the field.
Sprint Covers the Field is brought to you by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones.
Well, we just saw that Terry and Brett both agree that Brett is playing pretty good football right now, and you, the fans, agree as well. He is the people's choice as the best quarterback in the National Football League. Now, today's Sprint Virtual Coach question is this. What's the best part of Thanksgiving? Family, food, football, or the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and think that most of male America would go with the babes. I would go to the cheerleaders.
You can vote with your Sprint phone with PCS Vision or by logging on to foxsports.com. Hey, Brett Favre can do an awful lot of things well on the football field, including throwing the
fade route. One of the things all young quarterbacks and receivers have to learn once they get inside this 20 is press coverage, the old fade route where Howie tries to beat Jimmy, stays to the outside, and the quarterback lays that baby
you
up.
want me to take a dive?
Bump
Because
up.
normally
All
I'll
got a
cover it.
mismatch, got a short guy.
Oh!
Hey! Hey, if you didn't have your
back of
suit
the end
pants on,
zone
he'd have
for
caught it.
Let's go, Howie.
If you didn't have your suit pants on, you would have caught it.
That's
Absolutely.
pathetic.
All right, go ahead.
Perfect throw. Get back here, boy. Perfect throw. Now we're even. Now Jimmy stays even. Now the option. Oh, he's even.
Right here, right here. He pushed
Yeah,
on.
the underthrow.
Flag.
You see this all the time. Then, of course, the biggest problem is Jimmy comes up and you got the fade route called.
Right
Then
there.
at the last minute, Jimmy backs
back off.
Then
Right there.
there it is. The old slant route. Corner drops off. You don't want to run the fade. Either come inside, go outside.
You know, I could have covered it.
You could have.
But I took a dive.
Stay out late last
Coach
night. We
is
would
not
have had
breathing hard.
on that fade
Studying.
round.
Hey, folks, we all know that Thanksgiving is indeed a time for all of us to give thanks. And when you see our next story, we all have reason to be thankful. Coming up next, Pam Oliver will talk with the Packers wide receiver coach, Ray Sherman, about a tragedy that is a parent's worst nightmare, and that is the loss of a child.
I still think about it all the time, and that'll never go away. But I know I've got to be here, for Yvette and Eric and Alana. That's the most important thing, and that's where the strength comes from. And also, I have a great support group and a family with the Packers. I mean, great family.
Green Bay Packers wide receivers coach Ray Sherman has helped make the Packers the #2 offense in the NFC. After a rough start to the season, the Pack is indeed back, having won 3 out of their last 4 games. As we welcome you back inside of Ford Field. Hey, folks, there's no question that Ray Sherman and the Packers had to overcome adversity on the football field this season, but as Pam Oliver is about to tell us, that pales in comparison to what Ray and his family had to go through in their personal lives.
It's just an unending tragedy for them, JB, as well. Ray Sherman's job is to get the Packers wide receivers ready to play ball on Sundays, and for the past 6 months, he's gone about his work with amazing focus, despite living with tremendous heartache and pain. But what started as a nightmare has grown into an unexpected and costly legal battle with the memory of a lost son at the center of the family's fight.
I know he's hurting. I know this has been a tremendous ordeal for him and his family.
Ray looks at all this, I just say the receiver corps, as his sons. In my eyes, Ray hasn't changed. He comes in, he's the same guy, he laughs and jokes, and it's hard, because you know how he's feeling, but he's not expressing it at all. That's right,
He's trying to be the rock in his family, and he's doing a great job of that, of leading his family through this tough time.
He's not gone to me, I think he's here all the time. And that's one thing that I love about him. That I love that look. I love him so much.
And the Packers wide receiver is not alone. Green Bay may best be known as the home of one of the NFL's most storied franchises. It is your typical small town where everyone knows everyone else. And it seemed just about everyone knew the son of Packers wide receivers coach Ray Sherman. He was a 14-year-old who particularly excelled in theatrics, sports, and music. Given the overwhelming sentiment of the thousands who attended his funeral last May, Raymond, as he liked to be called, especially excelled at being a good kid.
I came up with kind of a metaphor for Ray's life. After spending 5 minutes with Ray, you'd go home and wring your clothes out with personality.
Tell me about those guns.
They were gifts that I had for probably 30-some years. They were in the garage, kept in the garage, never in the house. I was cleaning out the garage because we were getting ready for a garage sale, and I was checking them, and he happened to walk in and saw me, and I indicated to him, I said, do not ever touch these, do not fool with these.
911, I don't know, my son's on the floor with his head busted open. He's on the floor. Oh my God, hurry up!
Ray was downstairs practicing his drums, and then my mom asked him to go clean the garage, and that's when it all happened.
Okay, is he conscious? Is he conscious, Red? He's not conscious. He's unconscious. Oh my God, he's unconscious? He's unconscious. Get somebody there.
I still think about it all the time, and that'll never go away.
I met Ray at the police station, and I walked in, and Yvette was just, out of it. He walks up to me, and he hugged me. And we hugged for so long that we just didn't want to let go.
As tragic as that horrifying night turned out to be for the Sherman family, the days, weeks, and months that followed, they say, only added to the nightmare of losing their son to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Raymond died on May 18th. When I find out on national television on Tuesday the 20th that on the ticker tape that my son allegedly commits suicide, I was completely shocked. I had absolutely no idea, and it never crossed my mind.
Never.
Never.
So, never.
Whenever we tried to find intent, we found more reasons to believe that this wasn't what it was laid out to be.
Lieutenant Jim Arts was among the officers who responded to the scene.
When you look at a self-inflicted gunshot wound, your first inclination is going to be suicide. And let's face it, that's normal. But in the legal world, you just can't stop there. You need to corroborate that information.
Something the Shermans, the Green Bay Police Department, and the lawyer they later hired say this man failed to do. Within 24 hours, interim medical examiner Alan Klemick, who was previously a paramedic, ruled suicide without the benefit of a single conversation with anyone who knew Raymond or a final report from the police, who needed 3 weeks to complete it.
We obtained all of the information, and we sent to 3 nationally respected medical doctors and asked them to give us independent opinions on how they would rule in this case.
Each one offered the same opinion: accident.
When I looked at all of the material, including the interviews with his friend and with the neighbor who saw him minutes before he died, I concluded that the weight of the evidence is that this was not an intentional taking of his own life. It was not suicide. I think it's most likely was an accident.
The Shermans felt enough evidence was present to file a petition to change Klemick's ruling. But just before their emotion-filled announcement, Klemick changed his ruling to undetermined. He declined our request to be interviewed on camera, but told us by phone last week, quote, to call the death an accident is ludicrous, and he hoped the Shermans would accept the ruling.
I think the fact that Ray Sherman is assistant coach for the Packers really has hurt them in this case. One of the county officials mentioned to me a concern that if this ruling were changed, it would look like it was done as a favor to the Packers.
All we want to do is clear his name, and everyone knows that's known him, that he wouldn't take his life for anything at all. Every time I smile, it's because I'm thinking of you. Every time I cry, it's because I'm missing you.
Back in the family's new home in Bradenton, Florida, Erica Sherman reads one of the hundreds of letters from well-wishers in the new room her big brother never had a chance to move into. It's just one of the many chances cut short by this tragedy.
Never see him run with another football or kick another soccer ball. I wouldn't be at his high school graduation. We wouldn't be taking him to college. We didn't get his 15th birthday.
But as painful and difficult as the loss of Raymond has been for his mother, father, and two little sisters, it's been compounded by some ugly suggestions as to their motives. Some wondered if the family stands to gain financially if they're successful in having the cause of death changed. Well, the Shermans say they had no life insurance on Raymond, and such a thing never occurred to them. In fact, their fight is actually costing them, JB, thousands and thousands of dollars, but to them it's worth every dime.
Pam, anyone who would make those suggestions indeed are being very insensitive, and those are ludicrous suggestions as well, too. It's an outstanding family. Nice job, Pam. Hey, folks, we'll be right back with final thoughts after this. As we welcome you back to Detroit, let's check out the Web MD Health Report. The Packers' standout rookie linebacker Nick Barnett and safety Darren Sharper are both out today. Meanwhile, the Lions will not be beaming up Scotty Anderson for the rest of the season. And folks, just a reminder to all of you that we're wearing these ribbons in recognition of autism, trying to raise the level of awareness for this disorder. Final thoughts, starting first with Jimmy.
Well, Kansas City General Manager Carl Peterson's trying really hard to sign Dick Vermeil to a new 2-year contract at $4 million. Dick's 67 years old. He's not real sure if he wants to come back. Most likely it depends on how Kansas City finishes this year.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone at home and all around the country.
Rachel and Aaron, Mom and Dad, everybody, all our troops, happy Thanksgiving.
And also to Tina and Jeff Lee and the loss of their young son playing off of the Ray Sherman video. We wish you the very best on this Thanksgiving as well.
Thanksgiving, synonymous with family and football. Through the decades, it has provided all of us with great moments and unforgettable performances. Who will be this year's Thanksgiving Day hero? It's the Packers and Lions next on Fox. Right on cue, they're still cheering them here in Detroit at Ford Field. The Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers. We welcome you back to this stadium, and we get ready for football on Thanksgiving, the NFL on Fox. And now welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck. That's Troy Aikman. That's Chris Collinsworth. And thank you for spending part of your Thanksgiving with us. I remember, Chris, I used to have an Aunt Mary Lou.
Uh-oh, here we go.
She'd come in and she'd always want a kiss. A little kiss, a little peck on the cheek, and I just put it off until the end of the football game. By that point, Mary Lou passed out on the couch, no kiss happened. So that's what's going on in your living room, I'm sure, as we talk about the football game and the Green Bay Packers, Troy Aikman. I mean, that's a reason to watch. You've got a Green Bay team, not even in first place, but a very dangerous team in the NFC.
Yeah, very dangerous, and they're playing very well. They've won 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and you ask yourself, how are they doing it? Well, one, they're playing much better on the defensive side of the ball, but on offense, you would think that the focal point would be around Brett Favre. That's not the case this year. It's more about the offensive line and what Amon Green is doing, and as Brett Favre said, even when teams know we're going to run the football, they haven't been able to stop us. The Lions know the Packers are going to try to run the ball today. They better find a way to slow it down.
Yeah, and I think you hit on the key. There's no Aunt Mary Lou's on this defense for the Green Bay Packers. They've really been playing.
Hit, though.
They've really been playing much better as of late. You go back to the Kansas City game, sort of gave that game away, but since then, every single week you see the improvement, and then you begin to look at the schedule for the Green Bay Packers the rest of the way. Not very difficult at all. They really should be favored in all of their remaining games. This is a team that really could get very hot moving into the playoffs.
You know what surprised me talking to the Detroit Lions is that these guys are still jacked up about being on national television. They're pro athletes, what have you, but they're excited about being down on the field today.
Well, let's face it, for the Detroit Lions, they don't have a lot of hope the rest of the way. They're not going to the playoffs. So this is their Super Bowl. This is their chance to get to play in front of their peers and to put on a good show, because they want to prove really to the rest of the nation that this is a team that is coming on and is going to be pretty good next year.
Well, I think you look at the Lions, and obviously they haven't played particularly well, and Joey Harrington hadn't played particularly well, but sometimes the best thing for a quarterback is to get back out onto the field and play, and he gets a chance to do that after 4 days rest, and he's going to have some help, particularly in that running game.
From those of us in the booth down to the field for the presentation of our national anthem.
Now, to honor America, please rise and remove your hats. Joining us today to sing our national anthem is an electro recording artist whose album, Waiting for My Rocket to Come, is currently topping the charts. Please welcome Jason Mraz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You're watching a Fox NFL Thanksgiving Day special. Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League. It's time for Great Moments at Work, brought to you by the new Microsoft Office system. Brett Favre was able to overcome his thumb injury and throw for 2 touchdown passes last week in the Packers' 20-10 win over the 49ers. First, he's able to find a streaking Javon Walker for the 66-yard TD early in the first quarter. He follows it up in the second quarter with a 16-yard TD to Robert Ferguson, who celebrates by flapping his wings in the Packers' first victory at Lambeau this season.
And welcome back to Detroit and Thanksgiving football here on Fox. It's the Packers and the Detroit Lions, and now once again, welcome back to our broadcast booth. Our little spot up here with corn in the background and all those beautiful fall colors. We remind you, you can answer your Sprint Virtual Coach question by logging on to foxsports.com or by using one of these, your Sprint Personal PCS Vision phone. Our family isn't complete unless we go down to the field and check in with Pam Oliver.
Oh, Joe, aren't you sweet? Talk about home for the holidays. That is certainly the case for a couple of central figures in today's game. Lions coach Steve Mariucci hails from the state of Michigan, and his house is packed. Talking about 25 people, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, his kids, their kids. It is just one big party for the Mariucci's today. Meanwhile, for the Green Bay Packers, Thanksgiving in Detroit can only mean one thing. Dinner is on Gilbert Brown. About 30 teammates boarded a team bus last night, went to mom's house, and she cooked up 4 turkeys, had a feast of collard greens and potato salad and all kinds of cakes and sweet potato pies, Joe. I could go on and on. game wants to start.
I think so. Thanks, Pam. We actually had video of that feast, but the camera was devoured.
Better keep an eye on Gilbert today and see if he's not moving around a little sluggishly.
Yeah. A little extra stuffing. An old number 93. Well, we're glad you're with us, and the Detroit Lions will be on defense first, trying to slow down what has been an amazing change, I guess, for the Green Bay Packers with the way they're going about winning games, and that is handing the ball off to Amon Green, Najee Davenport, and Tony Fisher. Hansen gets rid of it, and Ferguson will take it in. Robert Ferguson is dumped at the 20. Tracy Walker down there to make the stop, and here comes Brett Favre. Here's an interesting stat. The Packers are 6-1 when Favre throws for less than 200 yards, 0-4 when he throws for more than 200 yards. They are not relying on Brett Favre to win games for him.
Well, that's exactly right. In fact, talking to him on the field prior to the game, he was laughing about the fact that they were able to win last week, only throwing for 92 yards. And as I said, if he only throws for 92 yards again today, I can guarantee you they'll have another win in the victory column.
Little play action to start. Favre dumps it off. That's Bubba Franks, his big tight end. He takes a hit, but a nice gain of 8 on first down. How about the rest of the offense? And you can talk all you want about Amon Green, and I know we will. But it all starts with this group up front. The tackles are very good, and I thought it was interesting what Bechtel told you, Troy, before the game. His favorite portion of that offensive line is the interior part of it.
Yeah, the interior guys, the two guards in the center, and he knows that this group is a lot better collectively, and they've played outstanding, especially here over the last 4 games.
Second down and a yard, and that play looked like somebody left too soon. It may have been Ferguson or somebody on the left side of that offensive formation. So this will cost Green Bay 5.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So left tackle, Chad Clifton.
Yeah, we talk so much about the fact the Packers and their favorable schedule, and they look good to make a run into the playoffs and all that. But with the record they had, you can't afford to stumble. And if there's an easy place to stumble, it's in Detroit on Thanksgiving, because you know you're going to get your best out of the Lions.
Kevin Berry, an extra tackle, is in on the right side of the formation, and so the Packers run left, and Amon Green gets his first carry. No gain on the play, and we look at the defense for the Detroit Lions. As a group, they are ranked 18th. Defensive coordinator is Kurt Schottenheimer, and Robert Porcher is not what he once was, but Porcher at one point was about as good as there was in the NFL at playing both the run and the pass.
Well, and that's really the strength of this defense, is that defensive front. Of course, they brought in Dan Wilkinson, Sean Rogers, another year experience under his belt, and they've got a lot of depth there along the defensive line as well.
3rd and 6. Favre with plenty of time guns it, and that's off the hands of Donald Driver, and he's got to be saying, Brett, I know your thumb's feeling better, but man, kick it back a notch. He can't catch that.
And they go right after Dre Bly on the first pass play down the field. Dre Bly hampered by a hamstring injury, and so they're going to pick on him today. They're going to make sure that he's okay, and you could see that turn very difficult, and Driver just unable to hold on to the fastball.
You know, we had 2 guys in meetings saying Brett Favre was throwing the ball as hard as he's thrown it on Tuesday. The thumb feeling very good this week. We saw it on that play.
Reggie Swinton is waiting for this punt from Bidwell. Good return by Swinton as he picks his way up to the 44. David Martin downfield to make the stop. And as you look at second-year quarterback Joey Harrington, I guarantee you this. Nobody with the Detroit Lions has any idea how good Joey Harrington is, or if he's good, because it's kind of a go win us games. He does not have much of anything around him right now.
Well, he's had some running backs that have gone down. Of course, James Stewart going down at the beginning of the season, and then the wide receivers. He's just not given a lot of help right now. And as you mentioned, Joe, it's hard to evaluate his performance. I really believe that this young man's going to be a heck of a quarterback in this league, but they've got to give him some help.
Good field position for Detroit. And they start with a throw. It's a little screen as they dump it off for Bryson. And Sean Bryson with a nice gain. He picks up 9. The offensive line, they feel like they're pretty good at tackle. But unlike the Green Bay Packers, in the middle, there are going to be some changes made, you can bet, with Steve Mariucci going into his second year a year from now.
You know, it really is interesting to watch this Detroit Lions team. They just simply cannot run the football at all. You don't see many teams in the NFL that can't run it even a little bit. It just puts so much pressure on Joey Harrington.
2nd down and 1, and they'll try the run, and they will pick up the first down with Bryson. Gain of 3. Defensively, it's exciting for the Packers with what has gone on the last few weeks. Week after week, they're getting better, but in this game, they have 2 of their better players inactive. Their free safety, Darren Sharper, and their middle linebacker, a rookie they love, Nick Barnett.
And I think Torrance Marshall is the guy to keep an eye on. He's the linebacker in place of Nick Barnett, only making his 2nd NFL start and his first start at middle linebacker.
Harrington's second throw is for Hakeem, and he makes a nice grab for a first down. Good coverage down there by Al Harris, but Hakeem took it away from him, a gain of 14.
Yeah, and Hakeem, he has struggled a little bit coming off of the knee surgery. He's still not quite 100%. He doesn't create a lot of separation even on this play, but Joey Harrington throws an absolutely perfect ball. It was good coverage, but it was just a great pass by Joey Harrington, allowing him to make the play.
And this game starting about as well as it possibly could for the Detroit Lions. 3 and out for Green Bay, and now they have a little drive.
That's Bryson splitting out wide to the left. And on first down, Bryson has it thrown his way too high.
Sean Bryson is probably the best of these running backs. And unfortunately for him, after coming over from Buffalo, he's had a second knee injury, and really talked to him the other day. He said, you know, it's just so frustrating. I never really got a chance to strengthen it. I'm not myself. He's one of the faster running backs in the league when healthy. And they feel like that if they can just carry him into next season healthy, he could be a factor.
On 2nd down and 10, Bryson again gets outside. And a nice gain on 2nd down as he's forced out by Edwards, a pickup of 9.
I don't know, Troy. This looks like a sleepy start for the Green Bay Packers. Here's a team, you watch these 2 teams on film and you say, you know, really it's one-sided. There's no question there's more talent on the Green Bay Packers side of the ball. And yet emotionally, there is always something about playing on Thanksgiving for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Green Bay, of course, they're having to travel, so an extra day had to go away from preparations in order to arrive here in Detroit yesterday, and that makes it hard for the opposing team on these Thanksgiving games.
A look at Darren Sharper, who's on the sideline. It's 3rd down and short, and Schlesinger is brought down after a gain of 2 and another Detroit first down.
Torrey Schlesinger, one of those guys, he has been through about 100 face masks. He goes through so many face masks, just smashing in there and blocking and running on short yardage and doing all those things. He literally gives them away to charitable events now. Has to change them about once or twice a week.
How much do they go for?
Yeah, I was going to say, what would you pay for that, Chris?
Big money. Big money.
From the 18 on first down, Harrington looking left, hits Hakeem. He's popped by McKenzie, but a gain on the play of 9 or 10. It depends on the spot. Looked to be a little short.
Well, you can just watch Joey Harrington. I know he was extremely disappointed in his performance last week against Minnesota, and he had started to show some real progress in the 2 previous games to that, and he could not wait to get back out onto the field today and try to put last week's game behind him. And it looks early on so far in this game that he's being very decisive in where he's going with the ball, and he's making good throws.
Quick snap count, they hand to Bryson, tries to cut it up and pick up a first down, and Bryson has accomplished that. I guess we'll say depending on the spot, looked like he got it, and then it depends on where they mark it.
You know, it is good to see Hakeem out there running around again. The guy was such a factor for the St. Louis Rams during their great Super Bowl run, and had that hip problem, and really just has never made it all the way back. We saw last week some signs of maybe he's starting to get back into it, but he's one of the quickest wide receivers I've ever seen play the game when healthy.
The ball is at the 8. The Lions need to get to the 7 for a first down.
to Schlesinger. And Corey picks up a fresh set for the Lions. And this crowd doesn't know how to react.
Well, this has been an impressive drive. They're doing a nice job of mixing up the run and the pass, but as you said earlier, they've done a really good job in this drive of running the football, and that's something that this team has just not been able to do, particularly up inside. And to be able to push this team off the ball with the big guys that Green Bay has in the middle, pretty impressive picking up that first down.
So on the 10th play of the drive, this is Bryson. Has a shot at the end zone, and he scores. A 10-play drive. They started with great field position, and the Detroit Lions took full advantage of it.
Well, it sure did, and Green Bay has been playing better on defense, but when you come into this game and you allow Detroit to take the opening possession and drive down the field and score the way that they were able to on this drive, I think there's got to be some concern entering the minds of these Packer players.
Now Hansen to make it 7-0. It's 7-0. Bryson gets his second touchdown of the season. The Green Bay Packers are coming off a 20-10 win over San Francisco. In the post-game celebration, Sherman said, "Get ready. Watch out for Detroit." 7-0 Lions.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Well, a surprising start, I would say, for the Detroit Lions as they get a 3-and-out thanks to a penalty on the Green Bay Packers. Get a good punt return from Swinton. And then at the end, it's Sean Bryson at the end of a 10-play drive covering 56 yards into the end zone. And it's 7-0 Detroit. This is big Najee Davenport from the 5. Good blocking in front of him, and Davenport crosses the 30. Knocked down at the 32, a return of 27 yards. Bryson into the end zone, and Steve Mariucci, first year in Detroit. Little satisfaction. Early lead for the hometown Lions.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Put them up. Put them up. Courage. I got courage. A bad day with the Lions is still better than a good day with the in-laws. That'll go over big at home.
Yeah, nobody better comment up here.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe that.
You don't?
No.
Amon Green kept it. They faked a reverse, and Green picks up 7.
Because the Lions aren't that good? Is that...
My in-laws are watching the game right now.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Look at the numbers for Amon Green. Number 1 in the NFC with his yardage. Number 2 in the NFL, right behind Jamal Lewis. And he has help. I mean, it's not just Amon Green, and he's had a fantastic season. But when they bring in Davenport and Tony Fisher, they're different backs, but all 3 are successful this season.
And it's not just the offensive line either. These fullbacks and wide receivers get involved in the running game too.
Amon Green will pick his way for a first down. And Chris, isn't that what Green does? I mean, he is a patient runner. He waits for things to happen, and then he hits that hole hard.
Well, that's what the Green Bay Packers like to do, that zone blocking scheme. So it's not a matter of they're just going to try and overpower anybody. So it's you get position, and that time you saw Amon Green coming around the corner, and then all of a sudden you find that little gap, and boom, you just hit it right in there. And that's what he does so well. But when he hits it, he's big, strong, and fast.
He just dropped a boom on everybody.
I know, I hate that.
What happened?
That's my fault.
Ferguson. He's got a first down, still going. Missed tackles, and Ferguson takes it to the 39-yard line of the Lions, a pickup of 17.
Well, and Brett Favre, he can't say enough good things about Robert Ferguson and the progress that he has made over the course of his career. Just a little hitch route to the outside. Dre Bly, who is nursing a sore hamstring, trying to make a play, and he's just not been able to really get involved in the tackling aspect of the game because he's also experiencing a bad shoulder. And we witnessed it there, and we saw it earlier in the game.
They hand off to Amon Green, running over the right side. And all things considered, a minimal gain of only 2 yards.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised in talking with Brett Favre yesterday that he didn't like Thanksgiving. I was like, you don't like Thanksgiving? What are you talking about? He said, well, you don't get any presents. I was like, oh, okay.
The little time we spent with Brett Favre, 15 to 20, sometimes 45 minutes of the best time of our weekend. It's a one-man show. 2nd down and 8. Looking to dump it off. Now he sets up a screen, and Amon Green is brought down. Great play by Holmes. Loss of 2.
Well, Green Bay tries to run the middle screen with Amon Green. You got Earl Holmes right here in the middle, and he does a great job of just sniffing it out and seeing the lineman release. And once he sees that, he knows that there's going to be a screen in behind it, and he's able to get in behind the blocking lineman and make the play.
So he gets to take a play off. Extra defensive backs come in for Detroit, and that's a struggle. They are really banged up in their secondary. 3rd and 10. Favre lets it go, and incomplete. No penalty flag as Javon Walker was hit as the pass came into his area. 4th down.
Big Sean Rogers, one of the keys to the ball game today. Probably the strength of this Detroit Lions football team is Sean Rogers and Dan Wilkinson right up front. And so far in this game, Troy, we've seen them in 2 3rd and long situations. Been able to get pressure on Brett Favre. No points on the board.
Ryan Walker was awfully close to being there too soon, but no flag. And now the punt, and a guy who was with the Packers, Reggie Swinton, after starting the season in Dallas, hauls it in. 1st down for Detroit at their own 12, up 7.
Hi, I'm Ray Brown of the Detroit Lions. This is my family, Ashley, my wife, Miriam, my daughter, and Trey, my son.
And from our family to yours, happy Thanksgiving.
Dad in that family is an impressive guy. 40 years old, 18th year in the NFL. He saw his son there. He said, I've got a 1-year-old, and I want to make sure that I stay in the game long enough so my kid remembers that Daddy once had a job.
Well, he may have to play a few more years, but we had a chance to visit with him yesterday, and boy, what a class guy, a real gentleman. He's been a great ambassador to this game.
And a guy who's trying to teach while he plays for that offensive line for the Lions. It's 1st down, Detroit. Changes it at the line, and this is Olandis Gary. No gain on the play. How about the last drive, which is the first drive for the Lions, and some of the highlights? You like the way he moved the ball around?
You know, anytime you're the underdog early in the game, if you can establish a little presence, just put the thought in their mind that we're going to be here all day long, Green Bay Packers, and that's exactly what the Detroit Lions did on that first drive. They're not backing off these guys. They don't care how hot they are. They don't care what their numbers are. They came out to play on Thanksgiving.
From Harrington, and he hits his tight end. But Simmons is forced out by McKenzie and just thrown down, and they throw a flag. That will cost the Packers 15 yards.
Well, that's the kind of stuff you got to be careful of. We saw the Lions go down the field on their last possession.
After the ball was out of bounds. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 34. 15-yard penalty and a 1st down.
We saw the Lions go down the field and score on their last possession. Now the Green Bay Packers have an opportunity to stop them and force them into a 3rd and long situation backed up. And because of a stupid penalty by Mike McKenzie, now they get an automatic 1st down, and now they're back out on the 30-yard line.
It's Thanksgiving. Doing that stuff on Thanksgiving.
That's right. My wife told me I couldn't criticize anybody today.
Oh, well, just might as well turn your mic off.
I was going to say, why is he here?
So
you can head home.
I'm just going to say happy Thanksgiving. Every time I see something wrong, so if you just said happy Thanksgiving, driving him out of bounds, and everything been all right.
Will we get a lot of those?
Probably a lot. You might even get a couple of Merry Christmases out of it.
The beauty of this broadcast booth is we're sitting right amongst the fans, and while every fan turns around to get Troy's autograph, I wonder, Chris, if that were a section of NFL players below us, how comfortable you'd be sitting right here.
Loved. I'm loved.
2nd down and 8. Bryson back in the backfield, and Harrington flips it for Ricks. What a throw from Harrington, and Ricks is down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 30.
Well, all of a sudden, this offensive line that wasn't supposed to be all that good looks pretty darn good to me. Couldn't ask for any better protection than that one right there. Joey Harrington sitting back all day long. The Packers getting absolutely nowhere through that line, allowing them to get over the top to Ricks. And Ricks is a guy that really had lost his job to Casey Fitzsimmons. Comes back in and makes a big play early.
I'll tell you what, great touch by Joey Harrington over the top of Niall Diggs and laying it in the hands of Michael Ricks. Great execution right there.
They mark Ricks out at the 30. They fake and end around, and Harrington now is going to run. Joey Harrington will slide, and a nice pickup on 1st down, a gain of 6.
You know, it was interesting talking to Joey Harrington yesterday, and I asked him about his development from last year and where he's at to this point this season, and he really felt that he started just trying to force throws, and that hurt him, and he started throwing a lot of interceptions as a result. So then he went the other way, and then he started playing overly conservative and started just checking everything down, and he's trying to find some happy medium, and it looks like so far in this game he's been able to strike that balance because he's doing a nice job of throwing it when he's got it, and he's doing a nice job of scrambling when he has to.
Handoff is to Bryson, and he is ripped down by Marshall. Drafted in the 3rd round out of Oklahoma, they thought they picked him up to take over in the middle for Bernardo Harris. He wasn't ready. The Packers had to sign Hardy Nickerson, and now only because of an injury to Nick Barnett is Marshall finally getting to play in the middle.
You know, and it's interesting, out of all the veteran players on this defense, you would have expected one of them to step up and begin to make a play, and yet it's the guy that's simply getting an opportunity because that guy, Nick Barnett, is out, that may have finally woken up this defense.
3rd down and 8. Pass complete to Bryson out of the backfield, and that'll just get the ball a little closer to the end zone for Jason Hansen.
And I think what's interesting in how Green Bay is approaching them defensively is last week they really blitzed more than what they have shown in previous games. But coming into this game, they know that Joey Harrington is not a guy who takes a lot of sacks. Whether you bring pressure or not, he just does a good job of getting the ball out. So right now, Green Bay is playing coverage, but they're not able to get any pressure on them, and they may have to start trying to do a little bit more blitzing.
Hansen, one of the best. Still. Snap a little high, but the kick is perfect. He is close to automatic. Doesn't look like old Steve Mariucci's getting a lot of sleep around the house with all those relatives packed in. And I guarantee you, every Green Bay Packer fan said this week, those Lions scare me a little bit. It's 10-0 Detroit. Get some sleep.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by the Lexus December to Remember sales event now through January 2nd. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper. By Visa, if you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Wachovia, together we can achieve uncommon things.
The weather outside ain't so pretty here in Detroit, and on that sideline for the defense, they're sending wake-up calls. As Hansen kicks it away. Davenport thought about it, but now will take it out. And not make it to the 20. Just across the 15, Brett Favre and company back to work. You know they won't abandon the run. Down 10 here late in the first quarter.
Rich Eisen hosts NFL Total Access.
Well, after back-to-back losses for the Green Bay Packers at home to Kansas City, where they blew a big fourth quarter lead, then at St. Louis, a win at Minnesota kind of got the Packers going. Meanwhile, Minnesota was in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. The Vikings snapped that last week against Detroit. Green Bay, however, comes in only a game out of first, with Minnesota playing at St. Louis this weekend. But right now, the Packers have their hands full with the Lions. 27 seconds left in this first quarter, and a toss to Amon Green. Penalty flag comes in on the play, a loss of 2. And it's a hold, automatic first down coming for Green Bay.
And I think, Joe, when you talk about the NFC North,
defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty, and a first down.
and you talk about Green Bay and what's happening to them this season, and you think about them having lost to Kansas City, a game they probably should have won, and then, of course, the Monday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. But what people don't talk about is the game they lost at Arizona, a team that they clearly were better than, and now they come into this game against Detroit, and they can't afford to lose any more games anyway if they're going to get back in. You can't especially come out and not play well against a team that you're better than.
You know, James Hall was upset about that call, but it was a good one. A lot of times you see backside defensive linemen simply trying to tackle the guy so they can't get out and lead the play, and that's what Hall did there.
James is pleading his case. Another thing Green Bay can't afford to do is fall into a bigger hole, because that would change their game plan, having to put the ball in Favre's hands and throw. That's not what they do this year. Good start for Detroit. Back after this.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody back in Portland. I'll be home tomorrow. Save some turkey for me.
Joey Harrington now gets to referee with the neighborhood kids. I mean, he's only 25 years old. Still running around playing the day after Thanksgiving. 39th in Gleason. 82 kids in a 5-block area. They had fun around Thanksgiving, and this year he's having fun with the Lions on top of the Packers 10-0. Favre lays it out, has Wesley Walls, and he's up to midfield. 29-yard throw and catch from Favre to Wesley Walls, his hunting buddy.
And this is pretty good design right here. You're going to see go in motion here to wide out Amon Green, and what that does is it makes Detroit go to 3-deep coverage, and the safety here in the middle is cheating to the right side. That leaves a big seam for Wesley Walls right up inside to get into that void.
And now on first down, it's Amon Green. He gets it up to the 46, a gain of 3.
It was cover 3 coverage, but it was really cover 2 because only 2 guys got the right assignment. They had a blown coverage back there. You can't let the tight end, who's not exactly a speedster, just run right down the field untouched. One big mistake out of the Detroit Lions so far.
It's only the 10th catch of the season for Wesley Walls. One of the better tight ends the past 10, 12 years, whether it's been with New Orleans or Carolina. Second down and 7. Forshea was back in on defense, and that was him coming across. Was he drawn off? So they discuss.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense moving into the neutral zone caused the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
The Detroit Lions are 9-5 on Thanksgiving Day since 1989. The problem, and Steve Mariucci is well aware of it, 1-8 after over the last 9 years. So they kind of gear up for this game. Then they get almost like a bye week, and then they come back and stumble. Second down and 2. Green is inside the 35 with a first down after a gain of 8.
Amon Green is as good as any in the NFL at reading that cutback. What he tries to do is read the 2 linebackers for the Detroit Lions, and when they float too far over the top, when they go here, he's going to start it here and then cut back behind it. You can just see all the linebackers over pursuing the play, and Amon Green just reading it perfectly.
Green on the sideline and Davenport in the backfield behind Favre. That's Najee Davenport, and he runs into a wall. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, one of the players there for the Lions, a loss of 2.
Yeah, and he's been a huge addition to this football team. He wasn't brought in until the end of August, but he has provided them a push, and he still has tremendous quickness inside. And you combine him with Sean Rogers, that's a pretty formidable group. In fact, talking with Mike Flanagan yesterday, he said, we will not go against two better defensive tackles collectively than what we'll face tomorrow with these two guys.
Certainly not bigger. Huge and huger in there.
Pretty big on the other side for Green Bay as well. 2nd down and 12. And the pass is complete to Donald Driver. He gets 8.
Just a little automatic out of Brett Favre. Anytime you leave the slot receiver uncovered in a formation, which the Lions did there, I don't even know if that was the play call. I think they just raise up and Brett kind of gives them a little wink and a nod, and you just dump it out there.
It's 3rd down and 4. Sean Rogers came across.
That hurts.
Really a great job by Brett Favre using the hard count, knowing the situation.
Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
Let's listen. Yeah, pick up the first down without even having to snap the ball.
Watch this throw. There you go.
Talk about growing up and on Thanksgiving playing a neighborhood football game. Favre said there was no neighborhood.
Yeah,
There's still no neighborhood.
Still no neighborhood. Nobody within 3 miles.
Had to drag his sister out there to play.
2 brothers and his sister.
I think Uncle Roop would play some.
That's flipped for Davenport. How about that touch pass?
Too good.
And Najee Davenport, twinkle toes, goes down the sidelines, and he's out of bounds inside the 10. A gain of 11. Make it 12 and another first down.
Great read by Brett Favre. James Hall is going to drop off in a zone blitz and try and pick up the running back coming out of the backfield, and Favre just drops it in right over his head. No chance for James Hall to get outside and try and pick him up.
Would it be fair to say Brett Favre's not known as much of a touch passer?
Not normally.
Davenport up the middle down to the 5.
I tell you what, we spend a lot of time talking about Ahman Green and what he's capable of doing, but boy, what a luxury Green Bay has when Ahman Green needs to take a little breather, and you're bringing a guy like Najee Davenport with his size and his speed and his quickness. He's a little different style runner than what Ahman Green is. Ahman Green much more shiftier, whereas Najee's more of a downhill type guy. But they've got a great tandem, and then combine that with Tony Fisher. It's as good a group of runners as there is in the league.
The extra tackle on the left side of the formation, and they play action. Looking for the tight end, and it's Franks who makes a play. And a touchdown, Green Bay. They're going to rule that Franks was forced out of bounds, and a delayed touchdown call to make it 10-6.
You know, Bubba Franks is coming down in a short motion, and Brett Favre just trusting his wideout. Bubba's not the fastest guy in the world, but he is big, and he just sort of gets rebound position on the defensive back. Does get both feet down. They rule a force out just in case, though. Pretty athletic play for a guy as big as Bubba Franks.
I tell you what, that was pretty poor play by Corey Harris. He's got a chance to knock that ball down. He just never even turns and tries to make a play.
Well, a little scare early from Detroit for the Green Bay Packers, but then an impressive drive down the field. 2 good touch throws from Brett Favre into the end zone for Franks. Mike Sherman, happy Thanksgiving. It's 10-7.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities, get yours. By the cola that makes everything better, Pepsi. It's the Cola. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns, Dodge. And by Gateway, 50 new products, 3 ways to get there. Gateway, give the box.
There is the scoring drive, and Bubba Franks is saying, remember me? Been to a couple of straight Pro Bowls. He's kind of been the forgotten guy for the Green Bay Packers, but Favre didn't forget about him there. Swinton is waiting deep, and he takes it from inside the 15. They're going to mark him down at the 29, a return of 15 yards. For the 42nd time, Brett Favre throws a touchdown pass against the Lions and brings Green Bay to within 3.
Drive starts on the 29.
Who will win this game? Who will win the coveted Galloping Gobbler Award? John Pigeon, one of our camera operators.
Can you do that?
Oh, you can't do that. Come on.
It's one-sided, not impartial.
Harrington has time, has his receiver Schrader, and the former Packer is out of bounds with a first down. Chris, would it be fair to say that Captain Quarterback here is not exactly buying into the whole Galloping Gobbler thing?
I don't know what it is. It must be something about Dallas guys in general. Emmett didn't buy into it last year either.
Well, what I like about the Gobblers, look at the detail that they go into. I mean, this is one of those aerodynamic helmets.
It is.
That the new craze that the players are using. I mean,
if you had that, you may still be
guys
on the
don't
field.
get concussions with this thing.
That's right.
This turkey's pretty safe.
This is one safe Gobbler. It's a first down for Detroit. An impressive start by Joey Harrington. That's Bryson, lost the football, tried to get right back on top of it. Green Bay saying they have it, and we'll wait. They're going to say Detroit keeps the ball. I mean, yeah, Emmitt Smith, we gave it to him last year. He had A, no idea what to make of it, and B, when he left for Arizona, just left it behind. He didn't care.
Yeah, let me tell you, he hadn't seen it since the day we presented it to him.
Well, see, what happened, though, was he was so emotionally attached to the Dallas Cowboys. He wanted to leave them something that would last for a lifetime, and the Cowboys put it in a closet because every time they saw it, they started to cry. They missed him, and that's really the behind-the-scenes story of that.
Is that right?
It's second down, and Bryson trying to hang on to the ball. Good play. That's Niall Diggs, a gain of only 1.
You know, it's interesting, Niall Diggs, he actually signed an offer sheet to go to Detroit this past offseason. It didn't look like he was going to get to stay with the Green Bay Packers. He signed the offer sheet to go to Detroit, and then at the last minute, the Packers matched that offer. So here he is playing for the Green Bay Packers, but very easily could have been in a Lions uniform today.
He's had a good year, too.
It's third down and 8. Blitz coming from Green Bay, and the pass to the tight end Ricks. He's got a first down, and Detroit now 3 of 4 on third down today.
Detroit Lions look really prepared for this one. The Packers have given a lot of teams trouble with this blitz right up the middle. They kind of just crisscross everybody in here, and a lot of times somebody will pop free. But the Lions step up. Sean Bryson picks up the blitz, and it allows them to pick up the first down.
Yeah, they left Bao unblocked coming off the edge, but Joey Harrington, having the sense that he was coming, was able to step up in the pocket and deliver the ball.
Harrington in trouble, and he'll go down. Torrance Marshall getting that first start at middle linebacker, a loss of 4 on the play.
They tried to go backside. Al Harris, I don't know if he grabbed a hold of the receiver or not, Kirkus, but you're going to see this is where Harrington's wanting to go and just couldn't get away.
Well, and I think what we're seeing is from Green Bay, like I talked about a little bit earlier, not being able to get any pressure with their front four. Now we're starting to see them try to put a little bit more pressure on Joey Harrington with the secondary blitzes we saw with Bao Ju in the last play with Torrance Marshall.
That is only the 8th sack allowed by this Detroit Lions offense all season. On second down, that's Hakeem. And Oz Hakeem is brought down from behind, and Hakeem can fly. And Diggs stayed with him, made the tackle, and a gain of 13, about a yard shy of a first down.
One of the things, Troy, that they've been trying to do with these Detroit Lions receivers is get into some bunch-type formations. So they're going to motion down to free up Oz Hakeem so he doesn't have to get that release off the ball. And by doing that, it gets him into the secondary, allow him to use his great speed.
Well, you just wonder if, when he's healthy, if before he had the injuries to his knee, if Niall Diggs is not able to catch him from behind.
Third down and 1. Handoff is to Bryson, and he lowers his helmet, picks up a first down, and a little extra pop on Antoine Edwards, and a flag comes in.
How about that run?
And I think Edwards drew a penalty at the end of it.
Yeah, those safeties, they don't much care getting run over.
And they brought them both down. That was strictly a run-type formation. They brought both safeties down, and Bryson just explodes.
Personal foul.
Into Antoine Edwards.
Defense number
That's
21.
Embarrassing.
24, I'm sorry. Penalized half the distance to the goal. First down.
And Edwards is physical. A guy is not a very physical guy, I should say. That is his weakness as a safety.
Well, that's 2 personal fouls now that we've seen here in the first half that have given Detroit tremendous advantage as far as field position and tacked 15 yards onto that last run.
They missed Darren Sharper with Edwards going over to free safety and Marcus Anderson starting at strong safety. Harrington steps up and was brought down by Wk13. A gain of 1.
You always talk about in defense, whether it's baseball, football, whatever, you've got to be strong up the middle, and the up the middle is gone for the Green Bay Packers today. Nick Barnett, the outstanding middle linebacker, Darren Sharper, their signal caller, their guy that directs the traffic back there, and this just doesn't look like the same Green Bay Packers defense we've been seeing.
Second down and 9. Bryson, try this up. Now the outside, and Harrington out to try to help with a block. And Bryson is down inside the 10, a gain of 4. McKenzie on the stop.
I tell you what, Detroit has come to play today, and there is nothing up inside, and Sean Bryson is able to bounce this back to the outside, and then watch Joey Harrington as he gets involved in the mix and tries to help out with the block right there on Torrance Marshall, and that's just outstanding individual effort by Sean Bryson, even able to get it back to the outside.
Huge play in the ball game right here. If the Lions can find a way to get a touchdown and take a 10-point lead, this thing begins to look very difficult for the Green Bay Packers.
Third down and 5. Looking right all the way, and the pass is complete to Schrader. Schrader made the catch, and it depends on the spot.
And I think Steve Mariucci is a tremendous asset for this young quarterback in Joey Harrington. He's got a guy that he believes in, and he knows that he's going to develop. And in time, as Joey Harrington gets more and more players around him, he's going to continue to excel.
You know, Joey Harrington got benched earlier this season against the Dallas Cowboys, and he said it shook him up a little bit. You know, he was a superstar in college and big expectations here, and it clearly rattled him, but he's bouncing back.
By the length of the football, a first down for Detroit. This time it's Gary, and Alandis Gary, who was picked up from Buffalo. And now a penalty on McDougal.
Oh, my goodness.
Stockar McDougal, after a gain of 3, gave a little extra shove. It'll be a personal foul back the other way on Detroit.
That is a major happy Thanksgiving for Stockar McDougal.
And those are penalties that when bad teams have them, they can't overcome them. And here they were inside the 5-yard line with a chance to go in. This is going to be a major penalty against the Lions.
It's Carl Mock, his offensive line coach.
Personal foul. Defense number 74. Personal foul. Offense number 73. The penalty's offset. Second down.
One of the few times, if there was something that provoked that shove by McDougal, the officials saw it. So the shove by Campman.
See, that's what you have to do, though. We literally, I don't know if you guys did this or not, Troy, but you literally practice having somebody push you and not reacting, because it happens all the time in a football game. Let them get the penalty. Don't take it and don't offset it on your side.
We would actually have incentives. Our coaches would say, hey, if somebody kicks you or strikes you after the play, if you walk away, then we'll reward you on Monday.
It all fit under the salary cap, though.
Well, I didn't say what the reward was.
Second down and goal.
That's how you bite your tongue.
Ball's on the ground, and Harrington recovers it, trying to get it into the arms of Gary. That'll bring up third and goal.
You just get nervous watching the Detroit Lions. You can tell they're excited. They've gotten off to a great start. They're up 3. They have a chance to go up 10, and they're just nervous. They're not used to being in this position, and it's the difference between teams that have been there and teams that are winning and teams that are trying to get there.
You're nervous. How do you think these fans feel?
Yeah, I know. They have to live it year after year.
They've been nervous for a while. 3rd down and goal. Harrington, Campman all over him. Able to get away, but not for long as Edwards ends up on top. That'll be a sack, a loss of 5, the second of the game for the Green Bay Packers, and the field goal unit comes on for the Lions. That's really a great job by Aaron Campman right here, 74. He knows that when flow goes away, he has to contain. He keeps his ground, he stays upfield, and he's the guy who disrupts the play and doesn't allow Joey Harrington to get outside on the naked.
I was a little surprised Ray Brown didn't hit him. He was the pulling guard coming out there. I don't know exactly why he didn't at least try and get a piece of it.
28-yard try by Hansen. Bad snap, but well handled by Nick Harris, the punter. We haven't even seen Nick Harris. He's the punter for the Lions. Good start for Mariucci's crew. They tack on 3 more and lead by 6. Joey Harrington is part of this Detroit offense that has really been impressive. They knocked on the door of the end zone, but then a big sack by Antoine Edwards brought on the field goal unit. We're going to talk more about Joey Harrington and what he's facing here in Detroit and what he's accomplished so far. So far, 10 out of 11. And guiding this offense through the air, and Bryson's been pretty good on the ground. That's Ferguson. He'll take a knee. And we will take a break. There's only 2:37 left in this first half. Flying by. Green Bay has it down by 6.
Hi, I'm Donald Driver of the Green Bay Packers. This is my wife, Bettina, and my son, Christian.
As we prepare to give thanks for the holiday, we hope that you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Our thanks to the Driver family, and that's what this day is all about.
I think he was over at Gilbert Brown's house last night.
I'll tell you what, apparently every day is Thanksgiving for him.
Oh, come on. 2 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in this first half, and now Favre and the Pack, they have to go to the air. And that's too low for Javon Walker. While we're at it, we want to wish a happy Thanksgiving and send our thoughts and prayers and all of our thanks to the men and women in the armed services overseas.
Absolutely.
And the job that they do day in and day out. In particular, Brian F. Murray of Westland, Michigan, a helicopter pilot, E-Troop, cavalry in Iraq. We know that Brian is watching, and I'm sure thousands of others, and we're thinking about you on this day. 2nd down and 10, and Bubba Franks makes the catch over the middle, brought down 1 yard shy of a first down. What's coming up this Sunday? We're right back at it in a few days. And these Green Bay Packers will be paying attention to that top game, the Minnesota Vikings at the St. Louis Rams. Vikings right now on top of the NFC North. And the Saints at the Redskins late. That all starts noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The NFL on Fox this Sunday.
I'll bet you there's some people in Minnesota enjoying this one so far.
Fake toss. Favre was looking for Franks. It wasn't there, and he's brought down. Robert Porcher.
Robert Porcher may have just saved a touchdown for the Detroit Lions because they had Donald Driver wide open down the field, but no time for Brett Favre.
Slamming the ball down in frustration. Time for the Pack to punt. It was Robert Porcher who spoiled it for Green Bay.
Watch this move by Donald Driver on your left. Just completely turns around Doug Evans, but Brett Favre with no time. Game or touchdown saving play by Robert Porcher.
Porcher with 9 sacks against Brett Favre as these two teams have banged heads over the years. And he is the Lions' all-time career leader, now up to 94.5. Here comes a punt from Bidwell. Off the side of his foot. Checks up and comes backward. And here are the Packers letting more time tick off the clock, but great field position for Joey Harrington and the Lions after just a 29-yard punt. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have analysis of our first half and a live performance by Mary J. Blige and Wycliffe John.
I tell you, Joe, that was a great defensive stop by the Detroit Lions against Green Bay, and now they give the ball to their offense with great field position. This could be a big blow to this Packer team if Detroit's able to come away with some points on this drive prior to half.
Leading by 6. Dumping it off, Bryson and one a play. Good play by Marcus Anderson making the start today. In essence, in place of the injured Sharper, a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, and Marcus Anderson, he had his opportunity last year when Antoine Edwards went down and he came in and played, and initially he played very well when he filled in, and then as the season wore on, he was not making quite as many plays. They opened up training camp this year to that position. Antoine Edwards won the job, but Marcus Anderson getting his start today.
Harrington now hits Bryson in the chest. He turned around too late. And we'll go down to Pam Oliver. Pam?
Hey, Joe, you got a bunch of befuddled, embarrassed, and ticked off Green Bay Packers on the defensive side of the ball. Everything they did not want to happen has, especially coming out playing very sluggishly, already giving up 13 points. Of course, it could have been worse. And plus, on top of that, they're getting chewed out almost every time they come off on the sideline. These boys better wake up quick. Back to you.
You know, and I agree with Pam. I mean, they're very sluggish. There's no energy. There's no enthusiasm. And for a team that has to win and has to win a lot of games here through the rest of the season, boy, they can't afford not to come out and give their best effort.
See Ed Donatel, the defensive coordinator, say take a timeout if we stop him. That's Az Hakim. The Packers do stop him, and they'll use a timeout with exactly 1 minute remaining in this first half.
KGB coming around on a loop that time, coming underneath, and finally got some pressure on Joey Harrington. They haven't gotten any all day.
Green Bay with 2 timeouts remaining, about to get the ball back as we approach halftime here in Detroit. It's a 13-7 score. Detroit about to punt with Nick Harris on the field. He's the holder on place kicks, and this is the first time he's been back there to punt.
Real missed opportunity for the Detroit Lions. They had great field position and did nothing with it.
Beautiful punt. Ferguson lets it go over his head, and it will be down near the 10. Just shy of the 10. 38-yard punt. It was Chapman downfield who picked it up on the hop. And we look at the NFC playoff picture. The top 6 make the playoffs. Division leaders at the top, and there's Green Bay at 6-5. But while they look at Philadelphia, they look more at Minnesota in the NFC North, and the Vikings have their hands full this weekend playing in St. Louis.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I mean, these games that are coming up this weekend, of course, Green Bay and what they've got to do in order to keep pace with Minnesota, a lot of games going to sort that whole picture out. A lot of great football coming up.
A handoff is to Amon Green. And Green lowers his shoulder and crosses the 30. 21-yard gain on first down. Walker on the stop.
You know, that's how different this Green Bay Packers offense is. Ordinarily, this would be Brett Favre time, but here it's Amon Green jump-starting the offense.
Well, it's getting ready to be Brett Favre time now.
Pass is incomplete. Ferguson, the intended receiver. The one thing that long run did was take a lot of time off the clock. Only 28 seconds remain, and the ball is still sitting at the Green Bay 31.
And it took away any opportunity that the Detroit Lions had to use their 3 timeouts and maybe get the ball back. Now the sort of field position Brett Favre may be able to take advantage of.
2 timeouts left for the Packers. Favre fires. The pass is complete. He's got his tight end again, Wesley Walls, a gain of 9+. Looks to be about a half-yard shy of a first down. Depends on the spot. Another timeout taken by Green Bay. They have 1 remaining. The ball is sitting a half-yard shy of first down yardage, and so far Brett Favre has been moving the ball around. Deep drop by Favre, and now he's flushed.
Look out.
Javon Walker and Driver down there, and Walker tipped it away from Driver. Incomplete, and now only 13 seconds remain in the half.
You know, Brett could see him down the field that he had a shot, but anytime the quarterback is moving to his left, especially to make a long throw, he has to stop, turn his body, and make the throw, and by that time the safety is able to come over and make the play.
Well, he wanted to throw it much earlier than what he was able to, but because of pressure, he had to slide to his left, and then, yeah, he couldn't. You just can't get enough on the throw when you're sliding to your left and then trying to throw back across. And he had him, though, open there for a second.
Walker got his hands on it. Big athletic receiver got up in front of Donald Driver and, in essence, knocked it away from him.
Packers still have a timeout, though, so they could take a shot with a Hail Mary type play.
Instead, it doesn't look like they're going to play around with it. Bidwell, the punter, is on the field, and Barrett Green is up and moving around for Detroit. Because of the injury to Barrett Green, and he's up and moving around okay on the sideline, Detroit charged with a timeout, and the Lions have everybody up near the line of scrimmage. Only one player off the line, so nobody back, and a line drive punt by Bidwell.
Just let it roll.
Could be the final play of this half. Green Bay will let it tick down, and they are going to stop the clock with 1 second left. Neither coach is happy about that.
And neither were the fans waiting for that halftime entertainment. I guess you don't want to go for it in that situation. Even if you run it down to 3 or 4 seconds with a Hail Mary type play, Jason Hansen, if you miss it, would have had a shot at a 57-yarder, and he does have a career long of about 56. That guy's happy all the time, though, isn't he?
Well, he wasn't when he coached Dallas.
He's a guy. There's a guy who's always happy.
Everybody loves JB.
Now him, I don't know.
He's in his football mode right now.
Depends on what day of the week it is.
He's breaking it down. He's analyzing it. He's going to fill in the gaps at halftime.
Are those guys ready?
They are ready.
It's a Visa halftime report coming up. It's a 13-7 score at the half with Detroit on top. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. They're all made up. They've got the powder out down there, the hairspray for Jimmy. They got to be ready to talk. We'll come back with a Visa halftime report right after this from your local Fox station. A halftime lead for the 3-8 Detroit Lions over the Green Bay Packers. Happy Turkey.
The Visa halftime report is brought to you by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, the sellout crowd here at Ford Field has a reason to be enthusiastically cheering. They're hoping for a nice Thanksgiving treat before their meal. The Lions on top of the Packers 13-7 at the half. And as the guys have said, indeed, they came out fired up, TB.
Well, they did. I'm telling you, Thursday, Thanksgiving is the Lions, for some reason, get it going right off the bat outside. 7-yard run by Bryson, 6-yard touchdown run. Lions automatically up 7-0, then back. Great throw, great catch by Rex. Beautiful job, 38-yard setup by Hansen, field goal, 10-0 Lions. But in the second quarter, fired to Franks, corner of the end zone. A great catch, great concentration by Franks to get the Packers back into this football game. Your score, 13-7 Lions over the Pack at the half.
I know Jimmy and Howie were talking again at the top of the show that this is the Lions Super Bowl. You mentioned something about Mike Sherman showing his team some videotape.
JB, in the pregame show, Mike Sherman said that, we have to match the intensity of the Lions because we know they're going to play a lot better than what they have played the previous weeks. And the Lions have been very sharp. Harrington 12 out of 14, and then on third down, 5 out of 8 on the conversion rate. So the Lions are sharp. Just stand on the sideline, watching them coming off the field. The Packers just didn't have the same intensity that the Lions have right now.
Well, really it comes down to intensity. We're on the sideline, and Jimmy and I were talking. This Packer team looks kind of lethargic. The Lions team looks intense. And Joey Harrington taking a page out of Brett Favre's book in the red zone on that Bryson running the red zone, throwing a block on a sweep, taking 2 defenders out, and you look at Wk13 and you look at also Sean Rogers at the defensive tackle position. Those are 2 guys that have really played well for the Lions leading into this game, and today poor shape benefits from that, and certainly the loss of Sharper and Barnett on the Packer defense has been a big loss for them in the secondary and at the linebacker position.
Yeah, it's so hard, JB, to go into that locker room, and Mike Sherman's got a real job because you can't turn the key on and automatically this football team jumps and kickstarts himself to where they're really emotionally into this game. It's very difficult to do.
Then what would you do as a coach then if you can't turn it on?
Well, I think you've got to go ahead and call on some of your veteran leadership and say, guys, we're not playing with the same intensity, and it's to be expected with a short work week. But they have to reach down and get something extra to start off this second half, because if they don't, Terry, you talked about it earlier on, the fourth quarter, the Lions have played extremely well.
Yeah. All right, so 13-7 again at the half. The Lions do lead it. All right, folks, coming up, not only a treat for the fans here at Ford Field, but for you as well. You see the stage being constructed for the United Way halftime show starring Jessica Simpson, Mary J. Blige, and others. You won't want to miss it. Back with more after this.
If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Each year, the Detroit Lions, the United Way, and the NFL celebrate their partnership with a special Thanksgiving Day halftime show. To kick off this year's festivities, we are joined by pop sensation Jessica Simpson.
You know, as we all gather together on this day of thanks, it is important for all of us to realize that by getting involved with our communities, we can help make a difference. Right, Nick? Anyway, by working together with United Way, we can help to make Thanksgiving a day of joy and celebration.
Honey, get in here. Look who's going to be on the halftime show.
I know, Nick. Why do you think I'm talking to these people? Here's an artist who is very active in her community and who's about to get really active on stage. Please welcome the queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, we don't need it now. To love one another. Hey, come on, everybody, get on now. Alright, come on, baby, just party with me. Let loose and set your body free. Leave your situations at the door. When you step inside, jump on the floor. Let's get it crunk up. Let's get crunk up on. Ooh, got to dance for me. You say a lot of good things, but something
ladies and gentlemen, right, left, Sean.
Yeah, Detroit. Let's celebrate. Have a basement party. A bar. Side to side, everybody. On the avenue. Have a family.
Be thankful for Thanksgiving.
Man, how I miss those days when the kids would play. No nines to spray. And Ice Cream Man came around the way. Lord, Miss Mary, won't you help me sing? Lord knows how I miss those days.
Dressing up for church on Easter Sunday.
How I miss those days.
Stepping in the name of love at every party.
How I miss those days.
Oh, yeah. Only you knew what we've been through.
You would celebrate.
You would celebrate.
Everybody just celebrate. Yeah. You would celebrate, yeah. Everybody just celebrate. Mary. See, I'ma box these haters. Take home all the #1 belts, yeah. We gon' pop that Don P, Lord knows, and celebrate the wealth, yeah. See, we gon' take they hate and turn it into love, yeah. Cause whoever got blessed, no man can test. Let's celebrate. Have a basement party, a barbecue, how we used to do on the avenue. Have a family reunion. Man, how I miss those days when the kids would play. No nines to spray, and Ice Cream Man came around the way. Lord, Miss Mary, won't you help me sing? Lord knows how I miss those days.
Dressing up for church on Easter Sunday.
How I miss those days.
Stepping in the name of love at every party.
Let's go. How I miss those days. Come on, clap your hands, everybody. Just clap your hands. Detroit, come on, and just clap your hands. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody just celebrate. Yeah. Just celebrate. Yeah. Everybody just celebrate. Just celebrate. Yeah. Everybody just celebrate. Celebrate.
You know, Mary Jane and Wyclef aren't the only ones volunteering their time to help make a difference in people's lives. Right, Jess? All right. You see, there's lots of NFL players out there lending a hand, encouraging other people to get involved in their communities. Watch this.
I think the NFL is committed to bettering communities and helping others because it really ties into the whole team concept. We all work together to win football games, but when you really look at it from a community aspect, it's pretty much the same. NFL for years have just done, I think, a tremendous job with a lot of the charities that they associate with. I just simply do it because it's in me to reach out and volunteer.
I think it's just in my heart to go in and try to spark up somebody's day, to make somebody else cheer up, you know, going to see kids that are facing some pretty difficult situations. If I had a bad game or something, that it's not that big of a deal. You know, here's somebody that's fighting for their lives, that's fighting for some yards.
So many people feel like one person can't change the world, and that's true. You know, that's why it's join the team, because it's not just one person. It's a variety of people working together as one, from the United Way to hometown huddle to so many things that the NFL has done. And I think that's one of the greatest things to do is get up in the morning when you know that's your day off. Get up and go out and support the community. Join the team. You can make a difference.
I'll just take it from here. You don't have to be a big-time celebrity to get involved with your community.
You're missing the show.
To learn how, log on to unitedway.org.
Mary J. Blige said it, wherever you are in this great land of ours. Ladies, raise your hands if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Take a load off. The second half's coming up right after this.
You're watching a Fox NFL Thanksgiving Day special.
We continue here in Detroit. Lions on top by 6. And let's go down to Pam Oliver. Pam?
Hey, Joe, Steve Mariucci stressing the positive. He said, hey, our team came out, they played hard, we didn't give up the big play. Joey Harrington made some good decisions. Mike Sherman, on the other hand, not happy with the Green Bay Packers. I said, where do you want to improve in the second half? He said, everything. Offense, defense, and special teams, horrible. He said, I did not recognize that group that took the field in the first half. It is not representative of how we played the last 4 weeks. Back to you.
Pam, thanks. Mike Sherman telling us he told his guys to look at the Detroit tape from a week ago and play it at a faster speed, because that's the way the Lions are going to come out in this Thanksgiving Day game. They certainly came right off the blocks, and the Green Bay Packers didn't know what hit them early.
Yeah, not only did Detroit play hard, but they played well, and especially Joey Harrington. What a half he had.
Short kickoff, and it's taken by Swinton. All the way out to the 35-yard line, and that's where Joey Harrington will start with it. Well, we know what's on the line here for the Green Bay Packers. They are coming into this game a game behind Minnesota. The Vikings playing in St. Louis. How about Joey Harrington? And I want to talk about him with you two guys, and I want to get your feeling on A, what's around him now, and B, what we've seen so far in this game. It's got to give the Detroit Lions a little glimmer of what they have in this guy.
And I think he's a little more realistic this year than when we talked to him last season. If you remember, he came in the meeting room and he was all bubbly and excited. But now Joey Harrington is a pro. He's been through the tough times. He's been benched, and he's come back and ended up being a pretty good fighter out there for the Lions.
Penalty flag on the play as Bryson bounces it outside, and it certainly looked like Green Bay came across too early. It is against the Packers, so the penalty will be declined, and it will be second down and about a yard. It's an offside on the Green Bay Packers, and for you, we talked about it on the field before the game. Does a quarterback have to have a little nasty side to him? I know Brett Favre has it. I know you had it to a certain degree.
To a certain degree?
Chris says I still have it. No, here's what I think. I think you got to play within your personality. But what Joey Harrington is realizing is what every young quarterback realizes when they get into the National Football League. And like what Chris said, you come in, you feel like you're going to take the league by storm, and it doesn't happen that way. You really got to go through the learning pains of it. And right now, he just does not have a real good supporting cast. As I said earlier, I think Joey Harrington is going to be an outstanding quarterback in this league. And if for some reason that doesn't happen, I'm going to be really surprised, because I think he's got some talent, and I think he's got some real leadership qualities.
Antoine Edwards is injured now, and he's walking off the field. And we'll take a look at how he came away banged up after the run by Bryson, which was an impressive run. And you can see the left leg being pinned down by the body of Bryson as Curtis Fuller takes over for at least a play. They're down to their third string. Bryson trying to bang ahead for a first down, and he just picked it up. And the only reason, guys, why I say that about that nasty side, as you look at Edwards, is what Mike Flanagan told us about Brett Favre. He said in that Tampa Bay game he was joking around with Favre when he banged his thumb, and Favre was screaming back at him, and Flanagan said, well, maybe that wasn't as funny as I thought it was. And I know guys didn't say much to you coming back to the huddle if they weren't getting the ball.
Well, I know this, that everyone in that huddle better know that the quarterback is the guy in charge, and that quarterback better have an ability to raise the level of play by those players around him, and sometimes you got to be the jerk. And if you don't have it in you, sometimes I believe it's hard to get them going.
Blitz coming from Green Bay, and the Lions pick it up. That gives time to get the ball to Oz Hakeem, and he's got a first down. How about the job by this offensive line for the Lions?
Great job by the offensive line, but that time Corey Schlesinger, the fullback, is just absolutely brilliant. Going to step up, pick up not only the linebacker, but the safety coming right up the middle, and just stones him right in the spot. Can't get any pressure whatsoever. And for the Detroit Lions, if there has been a difference in this game today, I believe it's the play of this offensive line. No pressure at all for the Green Bay Packers.
First down for Detroit. They've got Bryson lined up at the top of your screen. Harrington hits his fullback Schlesinger, and he hits his back on a good play by Torrance Marshall. He's popped up a few times today.
Yeah, I guess nobody told the Detroit Lions they were supposed to play Washington Generals today. Now, this team came out here ready to fight, and the Green Bay Packers are still looking for a little fight.
The word on Antoine Edwards, by the way, leg cramps. His return is questionable as he's trying to figure out if he can get back on the field. Sharper inactive with a rib injury. 2nd down and 9. In a sandwich after the catch is the tight end Fitzsimmons, a gain of 5. You know, when they called Joey Harrington, when they used that phrase Joe College, I think it has a lot to do with his personality, and it certainly isn't a compliment for a guy on the field. Everything's fine. There are no problems. He's always got the smile on his face, and I think last week took a little bit of that luster off Joey Harrington and gave him a serious wake-up call if he didn't have it before last week.
Oh, I think he had it before last week, but you're right. I mean, he's getting toughened up. He's learning how difficult it is to have success in this league. Brett Favre still understands how hard it is to have success in this league.
3rd down and 3, trying to set up a screen. Bryson takes it, has a blocker in front of him. Penalty flag on the play as Bryson is knocked down inside the 25, but we'll check the call. And it appears to be against Detroit. If it is, it'll wipe away a 10-yard screen pass to Bryson. And it's a hold.
Well, and that's the one area where Detroit is enjoying tremendous success so far in this game is on 3rd down. That's been the difference right now in the game and why the Lions.
Run. Holding. Offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Why the Lions have enjoyed such an advantage in time of possession. Right now, they have had the ball over 20 minutes to only 12 minutes for the Green Bay Packers, and that's a result of play on 3rd down. The Green Bay Packers have yet to convert a 3rd down.
And a second big mistake by an offensive lineman for the Lions. It probably cost them a touchdown earlier. And now you come right back on a big screen pass on 3rd down and have another penalty.
And no matter the holiday, Carl Malk is just great television. 3rd down and 13. Blitz coming from Green Bay. They pick it up again. Far sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Well placed. David Kirkus couldn't come down with it. Boy, Harrington has made some terrific throws in this game.
Well, he really has, and the line has done a good job. Kabir Bajabia-Miller running a twist, but they pick him up nicely, Dominic Raiola, and it gives Harrington a chance.
Oh, my.
And Kirkus, he dropped the ball last week. He was activated for the first time in last week's game. Had a drop. That was a huge drop right there on 3rd down. They get points if they catch that one.
What a perfect throw by Harrington, though. Kirkus gave him absolutely no room to work with at all, and he still dropped it in what should have been a big play.
Chapman with a fair catch. Brett Favre to the field. Harrington so close to more points against the Pack.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
It's Thanksgiving with thoughts of Christmas right around the corner. 13-7. Green Bay on the short end with the ball. First time in the 2nd half, and a toss to Amon Green. Able to hang on to the football even with Brian Walker trying to rip it out of his arms.
Go back and take another look at this. You're going to see the coverage and how he gets pushed over here to the sidelines. There's just really nowhere to throw the football. But Joey Harrington does a great job of putting that right where he had to put it. And where I come from, they call that a stovepipe.
Stovepipe?
Yeah, throw the ball right down the old stovepipe. I mean, they dropped that one right in out of a helicopter.
Stovepipe? Never heard that one before.
Is that a California or Oklahoma reference?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
2nd down and 8. Favre throws, has his man. That's Donald Driver, and a move for the 1st down. And then he's popped out of bounds.
Yeah, they really didn't do much in the way of running the football in the 1st half. The Green Bay Packers only 9 rushes in the 1st half of the game, and that really has not been their style of play. And the Detroit Lions, because of some injuries in the secondary, aren't very strong at the cornerback position, so they're not in a position to be able to play one-on-one coverage and try and help against the run. I'm really surprised the Packers haven't been able to run better than what they have.
Just about the same numbers that Favre finished the game with last week in a 20-10 win at home over San Francisco. 10 out of 15. Looked right, throws left, and this has been a Thanksgiving Day that Wesley Walls will remember, about as active as he's been for the Packers this season. Wesley Walls is a huge NASCAR fan, and coming this February, NASCAR returns To Fox for 17 weeks of high-speed thrills and excitement as another season begins. Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth lead the world's best drivers when NASCAR returns to Fox this February. They gave Walls enough for a first down and a toss to Green. There's the patience, and there is terrific work out on the corner by Otis Smith, who is 77 years old.
You know, this defense, what they're doing, I mean, other than the big run that Amon Green had for 21 yards, they've bottled him up pretty good. And one of the reasons is they're not giving him the cutback lane right now. You're going to watch Amon Green roll out, and he's looking for something back in here. But the pursuit here is what's keeping him from getting back inside. So they want to continue to stretch him out, string it out to the sideline, and they know if they can do that, he's not going to be able to plant his foot and get any yards.
You remember the game that Otis Smith had in the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots? One of the best games I've seen by a corner in a long time.
Favre steps up and fires, has his man. The pass is caught by Ferguson. And a first down inside the Detroit 40, a gain of 18.
Okay, let's just put away all the stuff about his thumb now. I mean, that on the move kind of a throw and just stepping up into this ball and zipping one down the field. If he has any trouble, when he's missing, he's generally missing high. We've seen him throw some interceptions when the ball gets away from his thumb, but not on that one. Good solid throw.
On first down, Favre dumps it off, and Davenport had to go off his hands. Boss Bailey was there defensively for Detroit if he made the catch. And the reference I made to Otis Smith, who is starting at cornerback, 38 years old. 38 years old, and at one point this Detroit defense was down their top 6 cornerbacks. They have had one injury after another in that secondary.
Well, you remember last year when we did a game of theirs, they were talking about their young corners, Andre Goodman, Chris Cash. They couldn't wait till they got some experience. They go into this season, both those guys on IR.
Donald Driver makes the catch on second down. And he was hit and driven backward by Brian Walker after a gain of 6.
But you can see that Brett Favre really wants to put his wide receivers in a position to make plays, but right now the Detroit Lions are just playing so intensely that every time somebody gets their hands on a football, they're just getting knocked straight backwards.
Well, and right now, here it is, third down. They're 0 for 4 on third down conversions, and ultimately this is the down you've got to win if you're going to have success.
Trying to get the first down with a hard count. Detroit didn't jump. Now they do. In front for a pick. Interception by Dre Bly.
Well, Dre Bly, he's been the big playmaker for this team. He just doesn't respect Antonio Freeman going up the field. He sits on the route. He comes underneath it and makes yet another interception.
Number 5 on the season for Bly. Antonio Freeman and Bly step in front of him, and Freeman and Ray Sherman talk about it. Sherman, the wide receivers coach for Green Bay.
Yeah, I think Freeman got fooled on the play. He got faked out when Dre Bly came up there looking like he was going to blitz.
On first down, they hand to Gary. Landis Gary is out across the 30. A gain of 5. How about some more music on Thanksgiving? Detroit Rock City by Kiss. Harrington jumps to throw it and hits his tight end Fitzsimmons. Harrington looked like Favre as he went up in the air and threw it. A gain of 4.
Well, you just don't expect to see the corner when you come off of that naked fake. Mike McKenzie, 34, coming off the corner blitz. Joey Harrington catches him late. Raiola can't get out to make the block. Really nice job by Joey Harrington. I tell you, this guy is seeing everything today, making good decisions, and more importantly, making good throws.
And right now, just picked up a first down. by the nose of the football.
Yeah, and again, that's Detroit is absolutely dominating third down. And you talk to any coach in this league, they'll tell you that we have to be able to win the third down battles. The Lions are able to, and so far the Packers have not.
Landis Gary again, and the linebacker Paris Lennon is another backup. Is there for the stop, a gain of only 1.
One of the problems that the Lions have had with their running game, I believe, is that they don't stay play side long enough. They're constantly looking for the cutback instead of trying to follow their blockers into the hole. That time Gary had an opportunity to stay on his blocks. You may only get 2-3 yards, whatever the case may be, but when you cut back, there's nothing there. There's no help.
Their offensive lineman in the backfield. Corey Schlesinger is on the sideline on 2nd down and 9. Looking right, now back over the middle. That's Ricks, the tight end. And a gain of 5. Here is Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, injury update for you. First, cramps, now a hamstring. Packers strong safety. Antoine Edwards is complaining of both. He is currently sitting on the sideline. They put it in some cellophane tape, actually, trying to get that thing heated up. His return is questionable.
Have you ever seen that? Little cellophane over the leg?
You know, that's the new thing now. Yeah, rather than the ace bandage, they go with the cellophane wrap.
Do not put that in the microwave. 3rd down and 4. That's batted backward. Cledius Hunt with authority.
I tell you, Cledius Hunt has really elevated his play in the last 2 to 3 ball games, and a big reason for that has been the emergence of Grady Jackson in the middle. But Cledius Hunt now starting to put a little pressure on the quarterback, and of course he bats that ball down there, but he has played well, a sack in each of the past 2 ball games.
But again, the protection was there. Hunt able just to get his hands up.
That's Nick Harris, and waiting for it is Chapman. Good run back by Antonio Chapman, a 15-yard return. So the ball at the 35, it's still 13-7. The Packs got it down 6.
Hi, I'm Dre Bly with Detroit Lions, and this is my son Trey. And I'd like to say Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. So Happy Thanksgiving.
Now that's cute. And that's not necessarily. Super slow-mo. Extraordinary work by Andy and Pete Chalveras. Handoff is to Amon Green running right. How about the running game for the Green Bay Packers and what it's been coming in and what it is today?
And you know, the thing that I see out of the Detroit Lions is that they're getting penetration. They're not waiting and catching and waiting for those zone blocks to get to them. They are getting up the field, and every time that the Packers try to get to the edge, there's somebody waiting. They have the cutback lanes covered just all day long. Great job.
Well, and remember, Amon Green went for 160 yards the last time these 2 teams played.
2nd down and 10. Over the middle, it's gunned, and it's caught at the 45. That's Donald Driver.
Yeah, Brett Favre loaded up on that one. You could tell that he's a little bit frustrated with what's happened so far in this ball game, and he rears back, and he's got Driver on the square end, sees it the entire way, and he lets go of a bullet.
Yeah, you just can't give Brett that much time. He stood back there. That was a late developing route, 15, 20 yards down the field, and no pressure whatsoever in his face.
Under 4 minutes to play, 3rd quarter, Green Bay. On 1st down, shooting for it all. That's Walker, and that's a touchdown, Packers. No flags. Javon Walker almost got tangled up and almost took a nosedive. Stayed on his feet and picks up the touchdown. That's number 6 on the season.
Joe, when he first started running, it didn't even look like he was running at full speed or that he expected to have the ball thrown his way. But here it's a collision, and he elbows Otis Smith. Otis Smith falls down, which allows Javon Walker to get open to make the play right there.
And I don't know what Corey Harris is thinking about. I mean, he just was so late getting there from the safety position. That ball was thrown basically down the middle of the field. And Javon Walker, for the second straight week, catches a bomb to put the Packers back in front.
By 1 point, Javon Walker celebrating on Thanksgiving.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Wachovia, together we can achieve uncommon things. And by the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Richie Zients, our producer, Artie Kempner, our director. We welcome you back to Detroit, Ford Field, and the 45-yard catch from Javon Walker. He had a 66-yarder last week, and the Packs win 20-10 over San Francisco.
And the Packers haven't had any big pass plays all year until those two.
Swinton. Reggie Swinton looking for a big return, and he crosses the 30. Brought down at the 33, a 28-yard carry back by Reggie Swinton. And now it's Joey Harrington to work down by a point.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
All that retirement talk is gone about Brett Favre. He is having a ball, the most fun he's had in the last few years, charged up after that 45-yard touchdown throw to Javon Walker. And now it's Green Bay on top, despite being dominated in many phases in this game. So back to work, Joey Harrington, and he fires incomplete for Sean Bryson. Well, we know they can run block, and they pass protected very well for Favre on that last touchdown throw.
Yeah. With Brett Favre, you get that kind of protection, bad things are going to happen to you defensively. And for Corey Harris on this one, watch the angle that he takes. He tries to undercut instead of going back. And any safety in football with a ball thrown inside the numbers should be there. That ball should have been intercepted by Corey Harris instead of a touchdown.
Second down and 10. Harrington hits Schrader. Short gain on second down up to the 35, only a pickup of 2. Harris was there.
And the other thing with Corey Harris was that Javon Walker was the only deep receiver on the play. There was nothing else that should have held him in the middle, and he was late even trying to get a jump along with the bad angle. So just a poor play by Corey Harris, but allowed Green Bay to get right back in this game and take a 1-point lead.
It is tough when you're 38 years old to try and cover some of these young bucks like Javon Walker in the NFL, but that's really where the Lions are with their corners right now. Just injury after injury.
Third down and 8, and this Packer defense has a little more jump to their step. Hello. Niall Diggs with pressure, and the pass incomplete. Michael Ricks, the intended receiver, and Harrington got pasted after getting rid of the ball.
Well, they bring Niall Diggs off the backside, but it's actually to Joey Harrington's front side, and he just doesn't feel it. He doesn't see it, and he has nowhere to go with the ball. He tries getting it out to his tight end, but that's one of the areas where they say Joey Harrington really needs to improve the most, is especially he's not seeing the blitz onto his front side for some reason.
That was nearly blocked by Davenport, and Nick Harris gets off a beauty back to the 20. With Chapman there for the fair catch, a 44-yard punt. How about NFC teams on the move? Philadelphia, the Eagles with a 6-game winning streak and a win over the Green Bay Packers, part of it on a Monday night. The Rams have won 7 of 8. They certainly haven't been easy, but they've been able to be led down the field by Mark Bulger at the end of games. And what a year for Jeff Wilkins, the place kicker for the Rams. He's been at least equal with any MVP on that team. And the Packers have won 3 of their last 4. And I know you guys believe that this is a very dangerous Green Bay Packers team. Passes out of the reach of Ferguson. 2nd and 10 coming up.
And the reason that I think it's dangerous, Joe, or they can be a dangerous team, is because if they're going to make it into the playoffs, it's going to be because they have won 4 of their last 5 or 5 of their last 5, and they will go into the playoffs on a tremendous roll and with confidence. And I can guarantee you that every team in the NFC that has a chance to go to the playoffs would like nothing more than to see Green Bay get eliminated, because this is still a talented football team.
Handoff is to Ahman Green. Who does Brett Favre think's the most dangerous team in the NFC? The name he keeps saying, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, and they too are like the Green Bay Packers, that if they get in, it's going to be for the same reasons. They've got to run the table in order to get into the playoffs. That means they'll be playing with tremendous confidence as well. Both these teams, whether it's Green Bay or Tampa Bay, still have a lot of talented veterans on their ball club and can be very dangerous if they get in.
3rd and 6. There was movement by the right tackle. Mark Tauscher came off the line too soon.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
We go inside our production truck. Say hi to Paul Zecca and Paul Duda.
Oh, look at those guys acting like they don't want to be on camera. They're somehow embarrassed. We know better than that.
We know one that wants to be on camera.
There's Victor and Derek and Jerry. That pass is incomplete. And frustrated is Terrence Holt, the younger brother of Torrey Holt, who almost came away with a pick, and if he grabbed it, it would have been 6.
Yeah, Brett was lucky that ball there was not intercepted and ran back for a touchdown. Had a chance to come down with that one. Trying to get it to Javon Walker, but Holt never saw the ball.
So a punt from Bidwell. Lions should get good field position. Swinton gets a block and gets to the 40. That's it. 47-yard punt. 5-yard return. Who's the top receiver across the NFL right now? It's Torrey Holt. What a year Torrey Holt has had, catching passes from Mark Bulger. And such a big part of their victory last weekend, coming from behind to win at Arizona. It'll be a matchup of Moss and Holt. The Rams and the Vikings this Sunday, an early game here on Fox.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about the Rams and the inconsistent play that they've had with Mark Bulger at quarterback, I think the optimists would say they've been able to win with other things, and so as soon as they start straightening out the quarterback position and get better play there, boy, they're going to be a dangerous team as well.
Minute 35 remaining in this quarter, and Campman with a hit. The ball comes out, and on that minimal return, Stocker McDougal at least got back on top of the ball for Detroit.
Well, Aaron Campman, they describe this guy as just a blue-collar type guy, and someone who works extremely hard, but he just sheds Stocker McDougal, gets him moving, comes back underneath. Joey Harrington has no chance on that play.
One of the problems Stocker McDougal has, though, is when he gets those shoulders turned to the boundaries like that, he just makes it too easy for guys to get around him. He's not a very technique-conscious guy right now at the tackle position.
Big loss of 7 on that play. Over the middle, the pass is juggled and then nearly picked off, but it's incomplete. Marcus Anderson came away with the ball, but it hit this turf. It'll be 3rd and 17. Schrader had to go off his hands.
Just hasn't been a very confident look out of the Detroit Lions coming out here in the second half. I think the Green Bay Packers must have gotten chewed out pretty good going in at halftime, because they're the ones that have brought the emotion to the table in the second half.
3rd down and 17 with 45 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
Oh, yeah. Check down. Check down.
Harrington looking to check it down, and he hits Bryson, his running back, who is forced out short of a first down. McCory on the stop, and it's time for a Detroit punt.
Pretty good play by Joey Harrington, just getting outside the pocket, trying to buy a little bit of time, and the fans here wanting him to go for it, and the fans here are out of their minds.
It's a 1-point game. It's 4th and 2 with the ball on the Detroit side of midfield. So a punt from Nick Harris. Chapman on the other end of that line drive punt. Ball is marked down at the 20. Let's think Detroit. You obviously think of Barry Sanders. Thanksgiving Day 1997. Rushed for 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 55-20 win over Chicago. Sanders also passed, by the way, Chris, Eric Dickerson for second on the NFL's all-time rushing list.
The stories that defenders tell about that guy. When you talk to them, they say, I'm telling you, I had the guy right in front of me. That's not Barry Sanders. Had the guy right in front of me. I could see him. I closed my eyes to hit him, and he just disappeared. He just wasn't there anymore.
20 seconds left in the quarter. Favre has to take a seat back at the 10. Porsche was there for the Lions. A huge loss on the play of 10 yards. And in what is right now a battle for field position, that really backs up the Green Bay Packers, who right now, as the third quarter comes to a close, enjoy a 1-point lead here in Detroit. So that's it for 3 quarters of play. And that's what gets the pictures from Detroit into your television set at home. We're glad you're with us on Fox. Happy Thanksgiving. Fourth quarter is coming up after this from your local Fox station. Throwback uniforms here in Detroit. Throwback football. They're using the Duke down on the field. And from the 10, it's 2nd and 20. Pass is complete to Walker. It's knocked out of his hands, and it's taken away by Holt.
Game's just starting to take on a bit of an eerie feel for the Green Bay Packers. Even when they do something right, it ends up wrong.
Well, Terrence Holt had the opportunity on the previous possession for a potential interception. And he doesn't get that one, but he's in position here to make the play after it looked like Corey Harris knocked it out.
Now, Dre Bly, who else? Dre Bly is the guy that every person we talked to inside the Detroit Lions organization said that this guy, without question, has been the biggest playmaker we've had on our team all season long.
That's a guy the Lions paid a 5-year, $24.5 million contract to. The $6.5 million bonus as Bryson is brought down from behind by Kabir Baja-Biamila.
And a heck of a play by Kabir on that one.
And that's a bad play by Sean Bryson. Sean Bryson's got to hit that hole. He tried to tippy-toe his way in there and just... he didn't get past the block. They did a decent job kicking out, coming over here. You just got to hit it. You got to go. You can't tippy-toe at that point. Kabir is going to come off his block, but he shouldn't have had time to get there.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11.
And you got a chance to beat the Green Bay Packers. You got to go.
Empty.
Oh, sorry. I know it's Thanksgiving.
Only 50 yards your last 6 drives, and that is batted down. Al Harris, those dreadlocks, got up into the air and knocked it down. 3rd and 11.
That's Steve Mariucci. First thing he did, he sat down yesterday with us and we said, well, you know, how's the season been going? He goes, oh, just awesome. He knows what he's going through, but he's been through it before. They had a stretch when they were rebuilding the 49ers where they were 3-19, and they got that turned around. So he has some experience doing it. Got some guys that are helping out. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, he likes him, and some of his young players, but clearly a long way to go yet.
Well, I think he's hoping that Joey Harrington can be the quarterback of the future, much like Jeff Garcia was, in allowing them to turn it around in San Francisco.
Harrington was trying to get Bryson up on the line of scrimmage and has to burn a timeout. And Harrington, I think, calming himself down as well as everybody else. 3rd down and 11 for the Lions when we return.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention. By Royal Caribbean. Get out there and take a Royal Caribbean cruise vacation. By Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And by Sprint. Proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones.
Uncle Fred with a wish for his mom, Freddie Aldis, who is the man in charge of the mound of sound down in the truck. And here's a big 3rd down and 11. The Lions are right on the edge of field goal range for Hansen. Play clock down to 4. Just got it away, and the pass is caught by Schrader, and he is knocked down after a gain of 1.
You know, how many times are we going to see that this year, especially out of young quarterbacks? They think they can get up there and make an audible that's going to somehow put them in a better play, and it just doesn't work in this league. You've got to be able to adjust your routes on the fly. You're going to come up and try and make some plays, and they just get hit in the back of the head. And I think that's what the coaches are saying to him at that point. Either that was the wrong time for the audible or the wrong audible that you called.
A couple ex-49ers talking to him, Mariucci and the running back coach, Tom Rathman. Now, a challenge flag has been thrown by the Green Bay Packer bench as we await what would be a 49-yard try. And the explanation from Ron Winter, evidently this play can't be reviewed.
Forward progress cannot be challenged unless it involves a first down. There is no involvement of the first down in the play. There is no challenge.
On top of that, you're talking about 1 yard. I mean,
well, with this field goal kick coming up right now, it's the difference between being behind or ahead.
Okay, so if this ball gets over the crossbar by 1 yard, you've got a great point. It's a 49-yard try.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Come on,
everybody.
Joe. In his career, Hansen 24 of 52 from 50 and beyond.
Hope he makes it by a yard.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Just got over the crossbar. Talking about one of the best ever. Let's see. Good snap. Good hold. Is it long enough? Not sure. Yeah, it just got over the bar. And right with that, Detroit up by 2. And a smile on the face of Mariucci.
Hi, I'm Kabir Bajabiamila of the Green Bay Packers with my family, my wife Eileen and my son Abdul Rashid.
From our family to yours, have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Well, it's time for the Packers to get the football back, and now they're down by 2, and there is our graphic.
There's that security guard right there. I remember him.
Doesn't he guard the Gobbler?
Yeah, what's he doing in there hanging out with those guys?
Officer Pack. He's serious, too.
He is.
He's serious because the Packers are behind.
Brett Favre has 27 career fourth-quarter comebacks, 1 this season, and that's considered when the Packers are tied or behind in the fourth quarter. And amazingly, and I know Terry Bradshaw talked about this earlier, this Detroit team has been really tough at home in the fourth quarter this season. Ferguson backs up to grab it. Over to the sideline and out of bounds at the 25. This Detroit defense has allowed only 6 fourth-quarter points at home this season, and now they have to deal with Brett Favre, who's playing in a dome, trying to get the Packers down the field. If there's one thing that's killed this Green Bay team, is turnovers, and it was a big turnover forced by Dre Bly. They're -2 today and -10 for the season. Turned into 3 points and a 2-point lead for the Lions. Favre looking to drop it off, and he does to Ahman Green, and he is hit immediately by Walker. A penalty flag on the play, and now another.
Oh, the Lions were going to get a huge break. It looked like a hold against the Packers, and then I think the Packers are going to get it right back on a personal foul by the Lions.
Maybe, unless Ahman Green did something with the football after that play. It'll be interesting to get the call from Ron Winter, and he's now going to try and sort it out. Let's look at the end of the play and see what happened. This drew another flag.
Yeah, then came at the very end after this play here. That might have been, they may have blown the whistle
about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
that's why the penalty came out.
Yeah, and it looked like that was Barrett Green.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield, number 62 of the offense. Unnecessary roughness, personal foul, number 54 of the defense. By rule, the 5-yard penalty is disregarded. The 15-yard penalty is assessed from the previous spot and a first down.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so the ball at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, so the Packers are the ones that benefit by that because of the personal foul against Barrett Green.
Barrett Green almost made another mistake taking off his helmet, which would have been another 15-yard penalty, and somebody helped his cause a bit.
So now they've moved the ball from the 39 2 more yards up to the 41. And Kevin Berry, that extra tackle, is in the lineup for Green Bay. And now Ron Winter is going to have to explain the ruling, and it is in the rule book that that penalty is declined and the personal foul is accepted to march the ball 15 yards forward.
Yeah, I never quite understood that. When it's a 5-15 situation, they mark off the 15 and don't do anything with the 5. At least you'd think they'd offset each other, give them 10 yards out of the deal.
So the 5 declined, the 15 assessed, and the 5 and 15 rule bites the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because the 15 is a personal foul. Obviously the more severe, but they do disregard the 5-yard penalty.
12:53 remaining in this fourth quarter. Amon Green, has he been shut down today? Great work up front with the linebackers and parts of the secondary for Detroit.
And that's been their best formation as far as the Green Bay Packers with their running game. They had Kevin Berry in the game, so essentially 6 offensive linemen. They call it the U-Bacon formation, and because when he goes to breakfast, that guy eats more bacon than the whole rest of the team. So U formation, and Sean Rogers now coming out of the game.
On 2nd down and 10, the handoff to Driver. It's well covered and well played. James Hall, the right defensive end, was back there to help on the stop, a loss of 7.
You're exactly right, Joe. And because of James Hall's penetration up the field, you're going to see that's why they've got to run it wider. Here's James Hall, but because he gets up the field, it stretches it out. Donald Driver can't get going north and south, and then it allows the rest of the guys to get up there and make the play.
And David Martin blew the block. He had the perfect angle and just couldn't get his hands on James Hall.
0 for 6 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 17. Amon Green looking for a block. There's James Hall again, forced out at the 40, and
these guys,
defensive play. It's time for a punt.
Excuse me, Joe. These guys are just playing harder than the Green Bay Packers right now. There's just no other way to say it. Boss Bailey is one tremendous athlete. Watch him just come shooting through there. He missed the tackle, but he slows Amon Green down enough for the rest of these guys to make the play. But when you watch the speed, whether it's special teams, whether it's offense, defense, whatever, right now the Lions are playing at a faster pace.
The punt from Bidwell. Ugly punt. Drummond is waiting for it. He takes it on a hop. Was going to clear out of the way until that hop landed in his lap. A 37-yard punt and an 8-yard return. So the Lions have the football and a 2-point lead here in the fourth quarter.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck.
It's Don Cornelli down on his knees giving us that shot.
There you go.
And on 1st down, the Detroit Lions have it. Up by 2. Pass is picked off. The throw from Harrington and the interception by McKenzie. So the turnover, the first of the day by Detroit, and it comes right after the punt. And McKenzie is down after his 2nd interception of the season.
Well, you're going to see Oz Hakeem, and Joey Harrington thinks he's going to stay up in the seam. It's a stutter go. Joey thought he was going to stay on the inside of Mike McKenzie. Oz Hakeem started to the outside, but that's when Joey let it go. And that's why Mike McKenzie had the inside position. to make the interception.
And you remember what he told us about Mike McKenzie? He thinks he's one of the best players in the entire league. He says, I don't know what this guy does, but somehow he is inside my brain. He knows what I'm going to do. He makes so many big plays against me.
Yeah, but I think that was more on just a miscommunication between Oz and Joey.
On first down, Walker was coming on a blitz, and the ball is knocked out of the hand of Favre, and it's picked up by Detroit. Brian Walker came on a blitz, and he knocked it out of the right hand of Favre, who was in pain.
Well, now the question becomes as to whether or not it was open hand, and if in fact it was a fumble. Officials obviously ruled that it was. We'll see here. Is his arm moving forward? And it's not. The ball slips out. He wasn't even hit with the ball coming out, much like what happened in the Monday night game against Philadelphia.
2 times in that game, the ball just fell out without anybody hitting him. And it happens here again. Cost him big in that game, and now a really dangerous situation for the Packers.
Handoff is to Bryson. Trying the left side after the right side. There was nothing there, and what a play by Al Harris.
You know, and one thing Bryson's going to learn is that he got away with it a little bit earlier in the game, but you can't continually try to traverse field and outrun people in this league to the other side of the field.
If Al Harris doesn't make that play, though, he might have scored. Al Harris just cut him off. There really is nobody left on that side of the field. Look at this. He gets outside here. There's nobody out here. But Al Harris stayed with that play. Great athletic move by Al Harris.
Yeah, the bottom line is he didn't outrun Al Harris, and he lost 5 yards.
Second down and 15. Handoff is to Bryson right up the gut. And he's down inside the 30 to the 28.
I had some friends on the Buffalo Bills coaching staff, and they really thought that Sean Bryson was just going to be a star. He was so fast and so athletic, a guy that you could get the ball to in the open field. But then 2 knee surgeries later, he just is one of those guys that's trying to stay healthy. I was talking with him, and he said, you know, you have the first injury and you're young and you say, oh, it's no big deal. Then you have the second injury and you start to think about it. You know, you're starting to think about, is this going to be the end of my career? What's going to happen to me?
How about the rest of this game for Favre, who's in obvious pain on the sideline as that pass is broken up brilliantly. Schrader, the intended receiver, and Al Harris over there to bust it up.
That was a big third down stop there for Green Bay and not allowing the Lions to keep that drive going. But yeah, now you wonder about Brett Favre and what condition he's in. Of course, remember when he hit his thumb against Tampa Bay, and we asked him yesterday, he didn't throw another pass at the end of that game. Could you have thrown another ball? And I'm not so sure he could have. And you wonder now if he can for the rest of this game.
46-yard try now by Hansen. Low snap, and the kick is good, and you can mark that one in the category of Nick Harris, the holder, getting the snap, getting it up on point, and the 46-yard field goal is good by Hansen. 5 more points. Green Bay down by 5. Detroit's own Mike Tadamir on this Thanksgiving.
There you go.
And Dave Geller, our buddy Cubby, who works with us up here in the booth. As Hansen kicks it away, Green Bay will get it back down by 5. Davenport. Najee Davenport with a big return. Still on his feet. Hansen in his way, and it's Hansen on the tackle. But the ball at the 40. Jason Hansen 4 for 4 in the field goal department today. Makes a big tackle to stop Najee Davenport.
I think it just tells you what kind of athlete Najee Davenport is. You know, now he's returning kicks and just the kind of speed that he has, and what a great job that unit did blocking up and allowing him some room to run, and great field position now for the Green Bay Packers.
You know, he was a sprinter on the University of Miami track team, and they don't have a bunch of slow pokes down there.
Longest return by a Packer this season, 57 yards from Davenport, and that pass is batted down. Sean Rogers.
And Sean Rogers is the guy that I think if they're going to build their franchise around anybody, this is the guy. He was sensational a week ago. had a lot of weight problems this offseason. They even talked about trading him possibly for a little while. And then all of a sudden he came back, he lost 30 pounds, and he has become a force. If he always played the way that he did last week, this guy would be in the Pro Bowl every single year.
2nd down and 10. Favre has time over the middle. I'm on Green. He's to the 35, a gain of 5. I mean, you have to at least wonder about the health of that right hand and the fracture in the thumb by Brett Favre, but he's thrown the ball well. He had a good week of practice. He threw the 45-yard touchdown throw to Javon Walker, was over there just banging high fives with everybody on the bench. And then the last possession, it just slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, and then when he hit it, and he told us yesterday there's just not a lot of margin for error, and you wonder now if it sets him back a little bit in the healing process of that thumb.
3rd and 5. Pass is picked off by Dre Bly. Another huge game by Bly. And a penalty flag flies in at the end of the play.
There is no foul on the play. There is no foul on the tackle. After the interception, 1st down.
Well, Dre Bly was very bitter about some of the criticism that he had received when he came to Detroit. They thought they overpaid for the guy. They were all over Matt Millen. And Dre was telling us yesterday, maybe the games that I've had here lately are going to get some of the critics off my back. Got his helmet off his head there.
Well, and to think that he almost didn't even play in the game today because of the hamstring injury, and there was a lot of discussion that, hey, maybe we'll just set him down. It's a good thing they haven't, because he's been the difference in the game for Detroit in this one.
Probably their team MVP this year.
On 1st and 10. That's Olandis Gary. Carries the pile forward into Green Bay territory. What a Thanksgiving for Dre Bly, his first year in Detroit, all those years in St. Louis. Got the big contract that Chris talked about. And what has he done? A couple of picks, the forced fumble, and this one huge. And then to hang on to the ball after the tackle by Tauscher. Took his helmet off, but it was time for Bly to celebrate.
They're celebrating in Minnesota right now, too.
Matt Millen, who put this team together, watching. It's now 2nd down and 3. Handoff is to Gary. Got 1.
You really have to start paying attention to the clock right now, too. 7 minutes and 19 seconds. And for the Detroit Lions, this is their chance to put it away offensively. You always think of the defense having to put a football game away. But, Troy, you know the best way to do it is for the offense to just maintain a drive, force them to burn those timeouts, maintain possession for a while.
Yeah, and I also know that there's always a game when you're a young team and you're trying to build confidence and start on your winning ways. There's always a game that kind of seems to get you over the hump and going in the right direction. This very well could turn out to be that game for Detroit.
On 3rd down and 2, the pass is caught by Hakeem. Made the move on Al Harris, and Harrington put it right where he had to.
Well, that is vintage Oz Hakeem. How many times did we see him do it with the St. Louis Rams in clutch situations? I don't blame Joey Harrington. I get man coverage. I'm going out here to this guy every single time. He's getting healthier every single day, and there is some of the quickness that you just don't see out of other receivers.
And Joey's really just now starting to get into some kind of comfort level with Oz Hakeem and these other receivers. Oz Hakeem missed the last part of the season, did not get to finish up with Joey Harrington, missed the early part of this year, and so they're just now starting to develop a little chemistry.
Blitz coming from Green Bay. Olandis Gary. Down inside the 20.
Well, what happens, Joe, is you find yourself in a position where you feel like you have to drive them out of field goal range. So you come with the safety blitz, and anytime you come with a safety blitz, if you can get past that first layer, great job right there by Corey Schlesinger. You break that first layer, there is no support because the safety had come up.
Touchdown saving tackle by Marcus Anderson.
This offensive line right now coming off the ball and just doing a great job getting a body on a body. You got to believe the Green Bay Packers are obviously getting worn down.
Ball control dominated by Detroit. Bryson running over the right side. Gets it down just shy of the 15, a gain of 3.
And if you're the Packers, you have to hold them to a field goal here. You can survive a field goal, still have a chance, touchdown and 2-point conversion. You let them go in for the touchdown, though, almost impossible to come back then.
Well, this has certainly not been a classic. It is a big day for the Detroit Lions on national television. First year for Steve Mariucci. And for the Packers coming in here, I'm sure, believing they'd roll right through the Lions and be only a half game behind Minnesota at the end of the day. Minnesota playing at St. Louis later in the week on Sunday. 2nd down and 7. Sprinting out is Harrington. Going to keep it and slide. 3rd down coming up.
You know, that's one time I disagree with the quarterback slide right there. You've got a chance to put the ball game away. And I know they want to protect Joey Harrington. You beat that in his head. But right now you're coming around the corner. He needs about 3 more yards for a 1st down. Don't slide because they're going to mark you back where the ball is, where you begin that slide. That's a time for a John Elway dive head first, go pick up that 1st down.
I don't know that he could have gotten it though, Chris. I mean, he's 5 yards short as it is. He had pursuit behind him. If he slides, he at least is able to keep the clock running as opposed to getting out of bounds where they would then stop it. But if they're able to pick up a 1st down here, interesting to see whether or not Mariucci puts the game right here in Joey Harrington's hands on 3rd down.
Packers back out of the blitz. Harrington fires, and it was nearly picked off by Michael Hawthorne.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I was wondering whether or not Mariucci would do it. A dangerous throw, throwing the out route like that, particularly when you're late and you're not getting separation. Joey's having to move to his right, and he tries making the throw.
Just a horrible decision by Joey Harrington. That's the difference in young quarterbacks right there. That's a no-brainer. Throw it away. Bring your field goal kicker out. That may have been a touchdown the other way. Wow.
32-yard try. Hansen is 4 for 4. And now 5 for 5. And he has missed only 1 time all season. That makes it an 8-point Lion lead here with 3.5 minutes to go.
And what did Brett Favre tell us yesterday? He said, as well as we've been running the ball over the last 4 weeks of the season, and as little as we've had to depend on us throwing the football, there's going to come a game where we're going to have to be able to throw the ball in order to win. Well, that game's now.
Well, Kurt Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator, was telling me before the game that we have to put the ball in number 4's hands. And I started laughing. I said, you know, I didn't think if I lived to be 100, I would ever hear those words, that we have to put the ball in number 4 hands, because these guys run the football so effectively right now. They're not afraid of their passing game. Yes, they gave up a big play, but Schottenheimer, I think, has come up with a brilliant plan, despite the fact that he has banged up corners, and they're not very good in one-on-one type coverage. He was going to take his chances with Brett Favre, and it is working so far.
Well, and Kurt Schottenheimer's done a heck of a job, because if you take away the 21-yard run by Amon Green, he is averaging less than 4 yards per rushing attempt, and that's well below his season average.
In fact, his average for the month of November was 6.0 per carry. 935 rushing yards in November coming in. Ferguson is pushed to the boundary. 3:27 remaining. And the ball will be placed down just outside the 25-yard line.
That'd be me.
And inside our production truck.
It's Richie. Richie?
He won't turn around. Look, Richie hates this. Our producer, Richie Zients.
Everybody from my crew, Chris, you got to quiet down
That
now.
guy loves it, though. Artie Kempner.
Happy Thanksgiving, Dad. Happy birthday.
It's up to him to get off the shot. He's not going to do it.
We got a game to do.
First down for Green Bay. Over the middle. Pass is caught by the tight end Franks. Brett Favre over 2 stadiums. This is second try at Ford Field, 4 and 7 in Detroit.
And they're a little casual with how they're doing this. There's 8 points behind, and going back to the huddle, that one surprises me a little bit.
Well, they do still have all 3 of their timeouts. Still time in the game.
Second down and 1, and Favre is sacked again. That's Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson.
And what a great pickup Big Daddy has been for this defensive team. And he shows here the quickness that he still has and his ability to run the twist. They twist up front. He comes around the right end. Big Daddy making the play.
You know, when Big Daddy and Sean Rogers come to play, these 2 guys are pretty tough. Problem is they don't always come to play like they have today.
3rd and 7. Pass is caught for a first down. That's Wesley Walls with his biggest day as a Green Bay Packer. And now with 2:11 and counting, Green Bay Packers will evidently let the clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. Barking out the signals in the shotgun with his chin strap unsnapped. 2 minutes left. The ball at the 40. First down, Green Bay. They have 3 timeouts left. This could be a big day for this Detroit Lions franchise, trying to take a step forward. Wesley Walls, another catch. Brought down a couple of yards shy of a first down, a gain of 8.
Tell you, Wesley Walls has been his go-to guy today. Hasn't been all that involved in the game or in the plans this season, but he's got 5 catches already here today.
Second down and 2, trying to pick up the first down as Ahman Green, and he has it. And I would imagine Green Bay will spend a timeout.
You know, for Wesley Walls, for an older receiver, the hard part is playing against those man coverages and making breaks and all that. But when they're playing a zone defense and you get to use your brain out there, then it becomes pretty easy.
So they don't take the timeout, and the result is trying to get the play away quickly. Clifton, the left tackle, moved too early.
Well, the one thing you definitely don't want to do, you don't want to leave your timeouts in your pocket. And
false start. Offense number 76. The 5-yard penalty remains first down.
I've always felt if you got 3 timeouts at a minute and a half, you burn it the first chance you get. Under a minute, you burn your second, and then you burn your third within 30 seconds of a game. But Brett elected to try to get up to the line and let it go, and they've still got 3 timeouts.
I go back to their casual approach with 3.5 minutes to go.
Blitz coming from Detroit off his back foot. Favre lets it fly, and it is picked off. Intercepted. That's Doug Evans, the former Packer, comes down with it. It starts with a pressure on Favre, and it ends with another Brett Favre interception.
Well, they bring a safety, and they bring a corner blitz. And Doug Evans was completely lost on the play, completely turned around. They're going to come here, they're going to come here. Favre is going to throw it up. At this point, Doug Evans has his back turned to the football and somehow manages to get back into play. Robert Ferguson jumped way too soon for the ball and allowed it to just drop into Doug Evans' lap.
Yeah, the ball floated in the air, and Robert Ferguson didn't have any idea where the ball was coming down either.
And a mini celebration from Matt Millen on this Thanksgiving Day. Forget mini. A big celebration as 5 Packer turnovers, including 4 in this fourth quarter, have done in Green Bay in this one.
I'll tell you, Troy, I thought that was a good play by Brett Favre. That is a jump ball situation. The defensive back turns his back, running away from you, and you can't make the catch as a receiver. I think that's all on Robert Ferguson.
Under a minute to go with Detroit up by 8.
Packer fans believe in two things: the guy wearing number 4 and a well-prepared sausage. Now, what we have here are the most popular types of sausage you'll find outside Lambeau Field. Brats, which are pork or pork-veal mixture, Italian sausage, and finally, Polish sausage or kielbasa. Did you know out in San Diego they eat sushi at Chargers games?
That's disgusting.
The score at the top, the playoff picture at the bottom. And in case you're wondering, Packer fans, about Minnesota's schedule, they're at St. Louis, then at home against Seattle, at Chicago, at home against Kansas City, at Arizona. While the Green Bay Packers have Chicago, San Diego, Oakland, and Denver as they make their way through December. 57 seconds left. Orlandis Gary just back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And who would have thought after yet another turnover that the Green Bay Packers would be spending these timeouts while on defense?
Hard to believe. And if they're looking at the playoff picture there, if it does happen that they go on to lose this game, which it looks like that's going to be the case, they will be a game and a half behind Seattle for the wild card spot.
You know, this game is not over yet, though. With one timeout remaining, they make a stop here, force them to punt. You still have Brett Favre able to go to work down the field.
Needing to get into the end zone and then tack on a 2-point conversion. Even some of the Detroit fans here are leaving early, trying to get a jump on the traffic to get home for their Thanksgiving celebrations. They've been leaving early here a lot, but not with their team on top.
Yeah, and I don't know that you can say enough for Steve Mariucci and these Detroit Lions and the job that they've done today. And as Mariucci told us yesterday, hey, this gives us an opportunity to showcase our team to the nation, show that we're going to do things the right way and what the future has in store for us. And boy, they've come out here today and given a lot of fans, these Lion fans, hope.
It's 3rd down and 7. Needing to hang on to the ball as Orlandis Gary, and Joey Harrington from behind him was screaming, "Get down. Get down," and make the Green Bay Packers spend their final timeout, trying to avoid a turnover, and it will be time for a Lions punt.
It's actually going to benefit Brett Favre here with no timeouts, trying to make this drive. The fact that half of this crowd is now left, so he won't have to deal with the tackles, worrying about getting off and being laid off the snap count and the protection. 42 seconds, a long time with number 4 under quarterback.
Coming up, the SBC postgame show, the 2nd annual Galloping Gobbler presentation, which I'm sure will keep America riveted. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have highlights from today's game and a preview of the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys coming up later. We were in Dallas a week ago, and I think all of us came away that much more impressed with the job that Bill Parcells has done as that offense finally took a step forward behind Quincy Carter in that win over Carolina. And over end punt. Chapman gets it on 2 bounces. Nowhere to go, and he's going backward.
Come on. Looks like he's in the 4 corners offense.
Well, once he realized that he had nowhere to go, he just needed to get on the ground and try to preserve as much time on the clock as possible. Just not very good play there.
Ball's all the way back at the 15-yard line after just a 38-yard punt. A return of -9 yards for Antonio Chapman.
Plus, that's a moment in the game you really need to try and take a chance and catch that ball in the air. You let it bounce, and just overall horribly played.
29 seconds remain. Green Bay needing to get into the end zone and get 2 points. On top of it with no timeouts. Over the middle, it's Javon Walker makes a move. He's out to the 45.
Now you have a shot at the Hail Mary, though. Get up and get the clock stopped. They have time. You're not stopping anything.
The Hail Mary comes now down the sideline, and it's incomplete. With 4 seconds remaining, Javon Walker, again the intended receiver. If there's a guy that Brett Favre is going to try and get the ball to on a Hail Mary, it will be number 84 with his size and his leaping ability. 4 seconds remain, 1 more snap. unless there's a defensive foul.
I always feel like in this situation, Steve Mariucci takes a deep breath. On this Hail Mary, especially one beyond 50 yards, you need to buy a little time back there from the quarterback so the receivers can get down in the field, get in position to jump for the football.
Detroit will rush only 3. And now a penalty flag comes in with the play clock down at 0.
Delay game. Offense. A 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And that's what happens when you throw the ball that far down the field waiting for your guys to get back into the huddle. Now you wonder if Brett Favre, with the thumb and everything he's dealing with his arm, whether or not he's got enough arm to even get it all the way into the end zone.
No runoff. The clock was stopped on the delay of game, and now here we go. There's Favre buying time. Steps into it. This will get to the end zone. And it's batted away, incomplete. And Tony Fisher nearly got it on the deflection and would have been able to walk into the end zone. Detroit wins it by 8. What a game for Joey Harrington, coming off a 4-interception game. A loss to Minnesota. The 2 interceptions late for touchdowns, and then this bat back. Tony Fisher was almost in the right spot at the right time to save the day for Green Bay.
You know, and I really think this game came down to 2 things. The Detroit Lions' ability to stop the run of the Green Bay Packers and the way the Green Bay Packers sleptwalk on the field in the first quarter.
Well, now the Lions, they have a game that they can build on and start hopefully getting this thing going for them in the right direction.
Joey Harrington definitely took a step forward, and the effort level tremendous by the Detroit Lions. What we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the Gobbler, coming up after this break.
Welcome to the SBC postgame show, brought to you by SBC.
Kind enough to hang in there with us, cornerback Dre Bly. He wins the 2nd Galloping Gobbler Award. Pam, it's all yours.
Yeah, he's real excited about it too. But before we start talking about that, baby, let's talk about what happened out on the field today. Tell me how you guys were really able to kind of get Brett to feed you with turnovers.
But we knew coming in, Brett, they've been running the ball down team's throat the past 4 or 5 games. And we know this week, national game, they was going to try to put up big points. And, we just believe in our coverage and just stay tight with them. And we was able to make some plays today.
You did a great job. And you get the 2nd annual Thanksgiving Day Gobbler. I wish I knew the official title. Handed by somebody I don't even know. Okay. But, hey, there you go. What you going to do with that thing?
Oh, no, I just got my basement completed, so I have to find a place. One of my mounts was down there, so I'm just glad to be a part of this in Detroit, and hopefully we can win many more.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hope your little boy Trey doesn't tear that up. Let's go over to Joe right now. Thanks, Dre.
All right. Thanks a lot, Pam, and thanks to Dre for standing around waiting for the interview. He takes with him the Galloping Gobbler. Our UPS leaderboard. UPS delivers a chance to win a big screen TV to watch the big game. Just log on to foxsports.com. UPS, what can Brown do for you? The numbers, Joey Harrington, no touchdown throws, but very efficient moving the Detroit Lions down the field. And now Wachovia presents today's Uncommon Perspective. The throw by Favre, the interception. One of a couple by Dre Bly. This Uncommon Perspective brought to you by Wachovia. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. From Pam and Troy and Chris, I'm Joe. To the guys in the studio, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Guys, JB, it's all yours.
All right, Joe Buck, thank you so very much. And I am JB, as Joe mentioned. And it's an enthusiastic crowd here that's certainly celebrating the fact that the Detroit Lions have won their 5th game in the last 7 Thanksgiving Day outings here And today, of course, at Ford Field, as we welcome you back over here as we continue on the SBC postgame show. Hey, fellas, it is a little scary that Rain Man at the top of the day said that if Detroit did what in the fourth quarter?
If they had the lead, Green Bay had to win it in the third quarter, first three quarters. Fourth quarter, this Detroit team puts up some good. They stop it. Now I'm going to tell you this. Next time I tell you what, if I tell you, Bucket, that a rooster dips snuff, what?
Check under
you
his
better
wing.
look under his wing for the can. That's all I got to say.
Well, I tell you what, there's no question that Detroit,
they weren't up at the beginning.
Detroit looked up under its wings as well, and what they found was a very effective run defense today against Ahman Green.
We knew going into this game that Green Bay's biggest asset was their running game, over 230 yards a game over the last month. This defense really had to suck it up, in particular their interior two defensive tackles, Rodgers and Wilkinson. Porsche had 2 sacks. That was a big plus. He benefits a great deal from having those 2 defensive tackles, forcing Ahman Green to go laterally. And what can you say about Dre Bly? 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. Last week he had to strip on a fumble, picks it up, goes in for the score. 52 yards rushing on 16 attempts. A remarkable effort. Nothing fancy, nothing pretty.
And Howie, one thing the Detroit defense did, they got great penetration, and on top of that, they eliminated all the cutbacks for Ahman Green. You eliminate the cutbacks, and he didn't have the big plays. He couldn't get outside. The other thing, too, Jason Hanson, 5 field goals today. That was big.
When we come back, we'll give the Blonde Bomber an opportunity to work with the football, something that he's worked with quite extensively to show us maybe some of the problems that Brett had as well. Hey, folks, we will step aside for a quick timeout. We'll be back in a bit and take a look as we head to break. A huge day by Dre Bly. Happy to be a Lion. 2 picks on the day, contributed mightily in that 22-14 victory over the Green Bay Packers. We'll be back here at Ford Field for a wrap-up after this.
Coming up on the one and only Ford F-150 Fox NFL Sunday, we'll take a look at some tasty showdowns. In Carolina, the first-place Panthers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And who knows, this could be an NFC Championship preview. Pam Oliver heads to Philadelphia and talks with Pro Bowler Troy Vincent, who may be playing his final season in Philly. They may have started slow, but the St. Louis Rams are in first place. So why are so many people wondering whether Mark Bulger is going to continue to be the #1 QB? Our Jimmy Johnson heads to St. Louis to talk with Rams head coach Mike Martz about sticking with Bulger. We'll also check out the showdown in Indy between the Patriots and the Colts. The winner of this game puts themselves in primo position for the playoffs. All that plus Frank's picks and Jillian's weather on the one and only Fox NFL Sunday, noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific.
All right, so Week 13 action continues this weekend. Jimmy, a number of good games on the slate, Minnesota and St. Louis.
Well, today's loss by Green Bay, really hurts him. I think the consensus was that Green Bay would overtake Minnesota for the division lead. Right now, Minnesota's got to feel pretty good, but they're going into St. Louis. St. Louis has struggled. They've been winning, but Bulger's been throwing a lot of interceptions. And so that will be a big ball game this week between 2 division leaders.
Well, now Philadelphia travels down to Carolina. Philadelphia somehow continued to find a way to win despite the poor play at quarterback, their struggling offensive line, their defense being decimated. Now they're starting to get healthy. McCall, Deuce Staley, Westbrook, in my opinion, the MVP of that football team, and now they start getting people back in defense. Interesting team. It's going to be scary to see how the NFC figures out.
For everyone out there wondering how in the world Detroit Lions take over a Green Bay Packer team that was in the stretch chair trying to get in the play. I'm going to tell you something. One thing you always want to bottle up as a player, we all know this, is you have got to be excited about the competition on Sunday or Thursday. And what we saw today has been evident to all the games. The difference is one team wanted to play and the other start to take a show.
You said there are some building blocks in place here. Last year, Detroit led the league with injured players. They're close this year to play well. It's been an outstanding weekend. Of course, this weekend we continue on Fox NFL Sunday, noon Eastern time. 9. We'll see you there. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www. www.nfl.com.